The synth wave is hitting. You know what that means? It's time, everyone. It's time. Now, before getting into this, I wanna do a quick update for you guys. I will not be streaming on my face today since I have been down with like a really tough not sickness. What do you call it? I've gone ill, so I have the cold and I look terrible and I am looking like the worst piece of ass for a long time. I've literally been laying in bed all day, shivering. So yeah, that's it. That's the first thing. The second thing is we're gonna have fun. He got Ligma? No, don't. But yeah, anywho, you know what it is today. You have sent me questions. We all know what is going to happen today. We are going to talk a little about some stuff we all adore, some stuff we all love, some stuff we all like. I'm just gonna take this one and real quick move this one up. Where is this? It's this one. Move this one a bit up. Yeah, so we can see the chat. There we go. And we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk with Moose today. We're gonna have a little QnA Devstream with Moosey Boy, Moo-Woos, as I like to call him. No, actually, I just came up with that like 5 minutes ago. But yeah, and as you all know, I've received questions throughout the week. But if you do have questions to me or to Moose, not me, Moose is the star tonight. If you have any questions for Moose tonight, you can still ask in chat, and we might pick out some of them if there's time for it. So yeah, there's nothing less than to say let's get going and let's get started. So. Also, my voice is most likely going to crack at some point in the stream. Please do not laugh. So, hello, Moose.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice intro.
Where?
I could. Huh?
Huh?
I
Hello?
couldn't help but notice you said you were deathly ill, shivering in bed.
Exactly.
Congratulations. Now you've made me look like the bad guy. You said you were sick. You never said you were shivering in bed.
Exactly.
We didn't have to force this.
Bro,
now I look like.
I have to exaggerate it for the players, or for the community, because I can't be sitting here sounding all good and dandy and then saying like, yeah, it's fine, it's just a cold, and then give my speech and my excuse. So just play along with it. I'm shivering.
All right, fine. But did you really have to call me Moo-Woos?
Moo-Woos. Yes, I loved it. It's such a great name.
This is gonna be a long interview.
I remember the first couple of days when I joined. My original name was Tropic Moose, and when I joined the game, a lot of people thought I was you. And so I was like, damn, I'm already popular in this game. I just started playing. And then when they asked if I was a developer, I was like, nah, okay, that's not me.
Oh, yeah, can't have that.
All right.
Congratulations. I stole your identity.
Yeah, exactly. I rebranded due to you. Now it's only Tropic. I must cut myself in half.
Hey, Tropic sounds better.
Yeah, true.
Can I say?
It actually sounds a bit better.
Yeah.
It's shorter as well. All right, but you know why you're here.
To be held at gunpoint and answer as many questions as I can.
Exactly. You have. I see. You have heard from Roarks and all the other guys, Vip and those guys, Liam, everyone.
About
being held at gunpoint.
Oh
yeah.
No, I just assumed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice. We have that. We're on the same wavelength here. That's cool.
Oh God. Oh boy. All right. Okay. Let's do this.
So, if anyone is like the least amount of confused who you are, today comes the first question, Moose.
All right.
Who the fuck are you? What is your place in all this, and what are you doing? What are you doing here, Moose?
Wasting my life.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding. I am the level designer / 3D modeler, hard surface 3D modeler big difference. For the game, I made every level in the game except for Crystal Caves. Crystal Caves was made by our part-time German fellow Soul, who's no longer with us. Not that he's dead.
Oh shit, that turned dark real quick.
Yeah, he's off to bigger and better things. At least we'd like to think so. But yeah, he made the Crystal Caves. I just like went in and fixed issues with it, moved a few things around, but there was no time to like overhaul it, you know.
Yeah.
Other than that, every map is my map. Woo.
Oh, nice.
So you can blame me for 80% of the maps.
Okay, so when are you gonna remove Utgard? No, actually, that's not a question. But
Hopefully within the next 8 months.
oh shit. Okay, so 8 months time span is what we're looking at
Hopefully.
here.
We'll see. We'll see.
Alrighty, man. Okay. Wait, I gotta turn a bit down for this music. It's getting poppy now. Okay. Now, the next question. How did you get into developing on this game and it being the map creator on this game, or the 3D? What do you want to be called? Not the map creator, like the 3D level artist, right? Or something like that?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, if you want to call me 3D modeler, sure, but I think level designer is just the proper term.
Okay. How did you get into the level designer of this project and this game?
Funny story. I basically just begged and begged and begged and was denied several times until the stars aligned. I would practice like modeling stuff like Aaron's house and some other, landmarks from the show. I think I did Levi's house as well.
Oh.
Before I got on the team. And we had Alec back in the day who was way better than I was, but unfortunately got a little too attached to his trees. It took a little too long to texture a tree. And eventually, he had decided to move on. So we needed a replacement quickly. So I volunteered after already begging for ages. And Roark was like, okay, well, I am literally desperate, so here you go. I did not deserve it. I was just at the right place at the right time, honestly.
The main
But-
character storyline.
It's great, but it worked out because like Alec is significantly better than I currently am. Probably will ever be. We'll see. But he really, really wanted to make a really good forest map and maybe a Crystal Caves map. They were going to be textured, you know what I mean? Because like he can do it. He has the skill set to do it. But he couldn't find the right style. And I think it drove him to the point of insanity, which is why he like left. We don't know. We don't know the full story. Maybe it was something else we didn't feel like it was the right thing to ask, we just was like, okay, no, we understand, you gotta go. It's a fan project, people come and go. It's not out of character. So yeah, he left, I stepped in, and we just acknowledged the fact that I can't make textures. No one on the team can make textures, and so we decided to not texture the maps. And because of that decision, instead of getting Forest or Crystal Caves, we were able to get like 4 maps in the game plus Arena.
Yeah.
And I think it worked out, I think.
I mean,
a
lot of people
getting 2
love the
maps.
maps. Yeah, a lot of people love the maps, me myself included. But when I initially launched it up and I looked at the walls and the floors and I was like, bro, those are squares. What the fuck is going on? I was like, is this not textured? Like, I mean, it gives like a raw style to it, so it looks cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the important thing is that we don't texture assets, or some assets, and then leave others untextured. With crates and stuff, they're like small props, so it kind of makes sense because the characters are textured, the weapons are textured, so it makes sense that like crates and stuff are textured, but like actual whole buildings and the floor, that stuff really can't be textured. Imagine if the HQ building was textured, but every other building was just, the debug textures that we use. It just doesn't look right.
It would be a sore thumb, like.
Yeah, we strive for consistency, so there's no reason. I tried like looking for textures too when I was first getting into it, but the reality is, even if we found textures to use, you have to find a consistent art style. And this game works really well with a hand-drawn style. And trying to find a hand-drawn style is just way harder than trying to look for more realistic textures. Because if you get realistic textures, that'll easily be consistent.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's not hard to find. But that doesn't work with this game.
No.
Realistic 4K textures, that would look ugly. Hand drawn is the way to go, and to find a consistent style for like crystals, rock, dirt, stone, like all that, it's too difficult. You want to have an artist on your team that can just make them and then keep it consistent.
Yeah, I think if it was going to be 4K as well, and like hand drawn and really smooth looking, I think you
Yeah,
would maybe also take a look at remodeling the characters and get a new rig, because then it would be the map looking great, and then the characters be looking like, hey bro, these have squares on them, right?
exactly. At that point, we'd have to do something more like Gwayden's game, where it's like that Unreal Engine, like hyper realistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like aesthetic, which
What
I don't
is
personally like,
Yeah, exactly.
It's an anime. I don't want it to be realistic. What are we making, a live action video game? Like,
Exactly. It has to have some sort of association with the anime, because it is from the anime, right? So
yeah, try to get the colors right, It's very orangey, like vibrant,
yeah.
the anime, at least season 1.
Yeah, it's
And whereas
very.
like,
It feels very
yeah,
dark at most times. Feels very dark and very left out. Like abandoned, and like this kind of
hmm
middle-ish era, where it's like a medieval era, something like that, but with like some steampunky stuff in there and here.
yeah.
Okay.
Next question.
You said you were modeling. This is not a question. This is more of my question. You said you modeled Levi's house and Aaron's house.
Yes.
Are we going to see Aaron's house and Levi's house anytime soon in this game?
Um, well, spoiler alert, I'm working on what's called the Underground City, so yeah, I would hope you'd see Levi's house.
Oh,
Yeah. It would be kind of stupid not to make Levi's house. It's a point of interest, it's a perfect hero asset.
yeah,
Why wouldn't I
exactly.
make Levi's house?
That's a nice little Easter egg there, adding Levi's house. Like that's actually so cool.
Hey, there you go. I thought it was common sense, but
Yeah.
there's the announcement. Boom.
So,
You need hero assets for proper callouts. Like otherwise you get the Crystal Cave dilemma all over again.
oh
Like the
yeah.
Crystal Caves, everything looks the same and it's really hard to make callouts, but with like City, even though all the buildings look the same, you still have like the HQ building, which is distinctive. You've got government building, which everyone calls church. I hate every one of you. And then you've got the cluster of buildings in the corner that I like to call villa. Some people call slums, which is really confusing because I'm working on the slums map. So yeah, stop calling it slums.
Yeah.
Call it villa. I don't know. But yeah, it's noticeable. But like if I didn't have any hero assets, you saw in the sneak peek for the slums, there's like the main entrance, like the staircase where, in the No Regrets OVA, you pay to go up to the surface, but you get thrown down anyway. There's like the railroad tracks and the
Yeah,
staircase that
exactly.
goes up to it. Yeah, that's
Tropic
there. That's like
playing
the
out of his
one
mind.
side of the map. You got to throw Levi's house somewhere. That's another side of the map,
Yeah, that's
And
true.
so now you can tell where you are,
Yeah.
and you could put objectives on them.
Yeah, we had an idea in the beginning on how to make callouts on the Crystal Cave maps, and it was literally like to give every single pillar a number, and then we would recite numbers. But in the end, that didn't work. Spoiler alerts. Like, who would have known that, right?
I can't imagine how that would even work, but at least he tried.
It was horrible.
There's ways to make Crystal Cave stand out. I wish I had the opportunity to work on it, and maybe I will in the future because I've got some ideas.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, now that we are talking about it, when is the underground map?
Anytime from any day between, let's say, tomorrow and January.
Oh, so we gotta like at least like So
Or
are we talking
December.
mid-January, start January?
Dude, I'm talking tomorrow, the next day, the day after that, the week after that, the next month after that. Like, I don't know.
So like a 3 month time span until the next patch
It could come
confirmed.
out at any point. Yeah, it could come out at any point in that time.
Yeah.
Totally depends. December is like our cutoff, you know. January with I don't even think we'll make like January. It'll probably come out in December or November. Like as soon as possible. Like
Yeah.
we don't have, you know, a specific date in mind. It's just as soon as possible.
Yeah, you want it out
Whenever that
as
will
soon as
be.
possible because yeah, like
Yeah.
more content equals better, and it's like also leading straight up to season 4, part 2 of the anime. Like it's really good like
That's
collaboration
one
with it.
reason, yeah. Another reason is because we did announce the roadmap in the announcements channel, and we can't start working on other stuff until we finish this update. So we can't really take full advantage of the roadmap. You know what I mean? Until
Yeah.
this is like finalized.
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as possible. That way we could just move on and start working on some other cool things.
All right. So with that said,
Yes.
I can already like guess to the fact that you're currently only working on the underground city map, also known as slums,
Yes.
and nothing else right now.
Currently no.
No. Okay.
Or am I?
Or
No, I'm
or
kidding.
are you?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine. So, how did you learn to create maps and assets? You talked a little about like you were just creating like Aaron's house and Levi's house and begging on your knees trying to get into the dev team. So how did it all start? Like in the very beginning, how did you learn all of this stuff?
Yeah, so I guess I'll just say my origin story for this server, I
Okay.
guess. Um, it's not that exciting. I played you know, the early builds like Forest, and then of course the Titan build came out. Learned how to do the C cut, became famous for that, oh boy. And then reserved a seat on what was used to be called captains, a role that was basically just testers for the time. And I got to test the game, and like I just got super into the game, right? And I was like, dang, man, I wish I was a developer. Oh, because I've always loved making maps,
Yeah.
like growing up playing Halo, like Forge mode, and making custom games. Man,
Oh.
I love, yeah, making maps. So to like make maps for an actual video game, you know, when I was that close to development, I was like, dude, I gotta learn, I gotta learn. So I just like taught myself using Blender, and I definitely made a metric fuck ton of mistakes looking back in hindsight. Um, but they didn't look too bad. Like they were usually like praised. They were like, wow, Moose has like potential. Wow, Moose is like improving so fast. But like it didn't matter how much I was improving, because at the time Alec was the level designer, and having me on board would kind of be pointless because I'd be stepping on his toes, and it would have been much easier if he just like did his thing, you know. So that's why I was always rejected.
I see.
Until of course, you know, Alec decided to move on, and then
Yeah.
boom, that was my time to shine.
Yeah.
And so I had experience, like I had a bit of a portfolio, I guess you could say. It wasn't like I knew nothing and then became level designer. It was my first time level designing, but it wasn't my first time 3D modeling.
Yeah, okay. Like
So
I I know about the Forger thing from Halo. I also know that if you I don't know if you remember that. You might do, you might not know it at all, but the Far Cry, I think it was Far Cry 1 or 2, they had like
yeah,
insane in-depth like create your own kind of map style kind of thing going. I love
Fa-
that shit.
Far Cry 2 was actually really incredible with their level design
Yeah.
tool. Far Cry 3 kind of toned it down, and then from that point onwards, they've only made downgrades to their
Yeah.
level design. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's a bit
Halo,
weird when you look back in the like into the past. A lot of a lot of older games like Unreal Tournament. Especially remember because I created my own like one versus one laser tag map kind of thing. But like
yeah,
all the old games, they always had like some kind of hey, here's a map creator tool as well for you to make your own little map you can play with your friends on, right? But now it's just
yeah.
not here anymore.
Yeah, I think they didn't even include it in Far Cry 5, and then Far Cry 4 was like That was the one where they had. Yeah, they like announced a whole DLC pack or something just for the level pack. That was like the last one where they really supported it, and
Yeah.
we haven't seen it since.
I really like the Far. I spent like hours upon hours in the Far Cry, like the original
It
Far
was
Cry,
good.
and
It
the
was
Far Cry
really good.
2 was like so good as well with all the assets and just placing down trees here and there, thonk thonk, making it look real nice.
Yeah, because you could actually sculpt terrain, and yeah, the only thing that you couldn't do, like whereas in Forge, is you couldn't make like custom buildings. You had to use buildings that were just they were just prefabs. They were just buildings on a list,
Yeah.
and that was it. But at least you could sculpt the terrain, and they did give you like walls and stuff to
Ye-
like make your own custom the hallways or whatever tunnels and stuff. But
Yeah,
for the
but
most part, it
it
was
was
pretty
always
simple.
a limited amount of assets. Like I remember I really wanted to make like a sand dune map kind of style, and
Yeah.
it was like four assets in it, and I just kept on reusing these. Like, hey, that's a nice skull of a bull laying right there in the sand. Oh, that's another.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 400 other. Like it was just the same asset over and over again.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Compared to Forge. Like the terrain sculpting was the only thing that I actually really liked about it. You could like adjust the height of the water, raise the terrain.
Yeah. Oh,
It was cool,
it
but
was
like
so
but
good.
it was, but Forge definitely had it beat as far as like one fun and two being able to actually make like buildings that are entirely unique because they would give you like walls and corners and like ceiling pieces and all kinds of stuff to make your own building from scratch, whereas Far Cry they just didn't give you any of those pieces.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I remember Unreal Tournament had like the whole on like early Unreal Engine map creator mode stuff like that in the Unreal Tournament like Legacy or something like that. I think it was 2003 or 1997 mode.
I
But
never got into that.
no, that was like really early days where they literally gave you like almost the source code. They literally just
Yeah.
like handed this shit out and was like, "Yeah, go ham, guys. Like we want to see what the fuck you can do." And there was so many weird ass like maps and mods, and it was so fun, man.
When it comes to level design, or well, like in video games, like custom level design, Halo's like the only like game out there that I know of that actually got better with age. Like it feels like most companies just kind of tack it in, and then they make it worse as the years go on because they don't want to give you too much replayability because they want you to buy the next game. Whereas Halo really gives you everything.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, they're implementing GitHub or something like GitHub in Halo Infinite's Forge.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's so
That's
nice.
commitment.
They actually do something for the player base, except just for robbing them and saying, "Yeah, this is a new game," when it's literally just the game last year resleeved, not calling anyone
Yeah.
out Call of Duty Battlefield. Oh, sorry. So,
Oopsies.
okay, let's quickly move on
Let's move on.
to a new question. So, what type of so I already can guess like Halo did something for you and Far Cry as well, but what type of maps and games has inspired you and your map making? Like when you're making a map, you're definitely trying to think back to some maps you have seen before sometimes, right?
Mm, to be honest, no. This game doesn't play like any game like out there that I can really think of. There's no choke point in this game. Overwatch has really good level design, except for Paris and Horizon.
Yeah, holy shit, Paris.
But but for the most part, they actually have pretty good level design. Even Call of Duty, to some extent, has good level design. It's just the spawning is what everyone hates. But like with those games, you have distinctive choke points, right? Where the action always gets funneled into. You can't just go up and over like every building. Like this game doesn't have chokes. It might have lanes, right? Like depending on how you look at it, sure.
Yeah.
But like you can go up and over anything or under anything. If you see it, you can go to it basically. And so making levels is really, really tricky
Yeah.
because of that. So for the most part, I just try to be accurate to my reference material and then go in and try to move things around for like to better the gameplay. Like Utgard, I think is one of the better looking like visual maps. Like it visually looks the most interesting. but it just plays horribly, in my opinion. And that's what happens when you try to follow the reference.
It's not only
I
your
didn't even.
opinion.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Believe me. So
But yeah,
yeah.
I was thinking more like I know that city and like Utgard and what is it called? Not really caves, but you know Utgard and city definitely has some reference material you can go out from.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested in like you know training forest, adding like these left out buildings. You never see these kind of
Hmm.
things in the anime, so there's really no reference material for it, you know. So like
Yeah.
what kind of like what kind of how do you get like um into these
Inspiration.
kind of yeah how do you get the inspiration for these kind of things?
For the most part, I just try to figure out what's believable, like what could have been there. Like a windmill is something they're capable of building, and it makes sense for them to have a windmill, I guess,
Yeah,
in the forest.
yeah.
So like it's not far-fetched. So and it's a potentially interesting asset to have. Um yeah, you're not going to see me put this giant steel structure in the forest because that doesn't make sense. That would be like in Liberia or something. Um, it's mostly just, hey, I need hero assets, which are one of a kind assets found on the map. Like there's only
Yeah,
one windmill, there's only one barn, and like you need these to make maps feel dynamic or unique. Otherwise, you're gonna run into the Crystal Cave situation where you only have the stairs, which is on one corner, and then the altar, which is on the other corner. Everything in between is just copy paste of
yeah,
the exact same, and that's a problem. Um,
yeah. There's
to
no
be
real
fair,
point of interests.
yeah, and to be fair, you could get away with copy pasting the same like assets over and over again, but it's like how you place them that makes it feel unique. Like if I did the Crystal Caves, I'd probably do something where there's I don't know, like a cave within a cave. I don't know how you'd really describe it.
Okay, yeah, I kind
But
of understand you.
basically, like in Forest, how there's like that cave by the bridge,
Yeah,
right? I'd probably do something like that, but in like the Crystal Caves, using like rocks or something. And like now, even though I'm using a bunch of copy pasted assets, I can create this point of interest using these copy pasted assets. And boom, now I've created a call out for people, and they can tell where they are just because they see, oh, I'm in cave,
yeah,
cave sounds stupid when you're already in a cave, but
y-
you get the point.
yeah. I get the point. Like large like what do you call it? Land structure, like
Yeah,
going up and down and
exactly.
creating like inner tunnels or caves or minor gaps or
Exactly.
something like that. Yeah,
My biggest gripe with the caves is that there's like in the middle far left, there is a plateau, let's call it, with like pillars, and that's where the one of the objectives go, right? Like if you're playing Domination or King of the Hill, one
yeah.
of the flags is over there. And then across from that on the other side of the map is basically the exact same thing.
Yeah, it feels very
You know what I mean?
like I made half a map, copy pasted, and then changed out like the entrance and the
Like
altar.
mirrored.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not good. So that's why whenever I make a map, I try to think of like things that make it unique and just create hero assets that are placed strategically in like the corners of the map. You don't want to put one hero asset like right next to another hero asset.
yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, the call out is useless.
Yeah,
Like imagine if Levi's house was next to the entrance of the slums. You would just say entrance or Levi house. You'd never acknowledge the other one.
exactly. Do you have to pick and choose?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we're talking a bit about like this about like hero points and points of interest and how all of the maps are like unique in this way from other games, like there was a question, what makes your maps unique to one another and from other games? And we kind of have the other games part down since we're literally playing a game where you can be anywhere at any given moment as long as it's not outside the border of the map. I
Hmm.
mean, sometimes you do get out of the border, but that takes some time to figure out. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like you can literally be anywhere. What makes these maps so like your map so unique to other games maps?
The freedom to go anywhere, I guess. I mean, most games have no problems putting colliders that don't match the asset, right?
Yeah.
Like for a house. most games aren't even going to bother to put colliders perfectly around the shape of the building, because they don't intend for the player to get on top of the roof.
Yeah.
All they need to do is put down maybe like a plane or a cube, and that's it. It acts as a collider on the ground. So if you bump into the house, you're not going to go through the house. But if you were to get on the roof somehow, maybe you glitched your way up there. That's why you fall through buildings in
Yeah.
some games, if you've seen Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly.
But in our game, the colliders need to match like 100% of the mesh, and we need to assign material tags, because obviously you can shoot the rooftops in city, and you'll see orange particle effects. We have to like take that into consideration.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying. It's so tedious.
Yeah. In other games,
It's so tedious.
it merely acts like maybe even like walls. You're running around in a maze and you have to find other
Yeah.
people. But here you actually have to develop like the whole entire like system of it.
Like literally look at any Square Enix game. Like look at Final Fantasy, for example.
Yeah.
If you're in a city in Final Fantasy, 9 times out of 10, it's not like open world. You can't go down any street. There's a set path. There's a hallway that they want you to take. And they didn't put colliders on everything that you see, like out of bounds. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
just added some cubes and forced you to go along the path. There's no way for the player to jump, so it's not like you'll ever get on the roof. Like,
Maybe not even cubes, more like planes.
probably planes,
Fences.
yeah.
Yeah, planes. I sound dumb when I say it like that, but like flat surfaces, not even cubes.
Yeah, like there's no reason to even use a cube at that point,
Exactly.
because the player will never be on the roof. And so that's why our game is kind of a nightmare to make a lot. It's not unheard of. It's not that other games don't do this. Other games do this. It's just, hallway games don't do this.
Yeah, where you get led on towards the adventure,
Yeah.
but here you have to create it yourself.
And like I said, you can go anywhere, so like that means there's no choke point. So the action can take place at any point.
Yeah.
So that's how it stands out from most other games.
Okay.
Basically the same answer.
Yeah, like there is these types of, as you said, like in Crystal Cave, we can all agree that it is just one long lane, but in reality, this long lane can, like, everyone can be anywhere. The same on Training Forest. There are specific certain routes that people take.
Yeah.
But it's
You
really
can take
like
shortcuts.
Yeah, you can take shortcuts. You can go over. You can go under. You can literally go anywhere as long as the border like allows it. But there are still these kind of like lanes that some people stick to once in a while, because it's like either competitively structural better, or it's just like a pet peewee of there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we answer the XP15's question?
Yeah, you can answer that. No problem.
Because that's a pretty interesting question.
Yeah.
Are there plans to make smaller maps like cutouts of current maps? So I'm assuming I think he means current maps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he says it right there. I'm stupid. Yeah, that's actually been talked about. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but we did talk about the idea of making all maps just generally larger, and then having variants where you can just play on a smaller portion of a map. Like, imagine if I did Liberio, right? I have tons of things to say about Liberio, but one thing that is basically set in stone, at least for me, because I'm the one that's going to do it, Liberio is definitely going to be the largest map in the game, hands down. And that's not good if you like Liberio, but you want to like 1v1 on the map, So having the ability to just pick a part of the map, that's designed for small servers or low populated servers would be great, because then you can have domination, Liberio full, size, or you can do like, okay, deathmatch Liberio, like small, and it just takes place maybe in the internment zone or something. Being able to section off the map would be a huge benefit, so I can't rule that out.
Yeah, Liberio is definitely gonna have to support 32 versus 32 player playlists.
I don't know about definitely, but it would be the ideal domination map.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop playing fucking deathmatch.
Everyone loves deathmatch.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay,
All right,
so
moving on.
when you're making maps, do you ever think about the current game modes or the competitive integrity of the maps, or are you just plumping down assets here and there and until you think, hey, bro, this shit look lit as shit?
Nice. No. There wasn't a fucking pro scene when I made the maps.
That's true.
Fucking you guy, you stupid. Yeah, no. Now there is, right?
Yeah.
Because I've gained experience from watching like pros play the game. But when I was starting out, no, it wasn't just, hey, I'm gonna plop this down and then call it a day. Like I'd actively play test it, fly around and see if it's like fun, if it flows, right? Um, and just go through iteration after iteration in testing. Like people would play test it and then they'd be like, this is good. And then I would just keep it. Or they'd be like, this is shit. And then I would throw the entire map away and I'd start over. No,
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
That sounds so insane to do. Like,
that is part of my workflow though. I actually delete maps and just start
oh,
over from scratch like often. But like I don't do it when it's like, hey, we've play tested this and everyone likes it, and I'm just like, delete.
yeah.
You know, I don't do
One
that. What
guy
I
comes up
usually
to
do,
you and says like, this tree feels off. It feels out of place, and you're like, yeah, delete map.
yeah.
Boop.
Usually, what I do when I first start off, I create a bunch of like meshes. The way I white box in this game, and for those of you who don't know what white boxing is basically just like, hey, you want to make a level, but before you get into making meshes, you should just use cubes as placeholders to like see, you know, the scale of things and like what works and what doesn't. Me, I don't believe in that for the most part. I mean, Unity has Pro Builder, which is pretty useful for kind of 3D modeling within Unity, but it's not ideal. It's good for whiteboxing. I use it for that. But I actually just make meshes. I just say, screw it. I just go straight into making meshes, and then I plop them into Unity, and then I just test those out and see if they work. And I'll make, like you saw in the announcement for Slums, I'll make little test sites, like small test sites, where I'll fly around and see what works. That way, when I build the actual map, I know, hey, oh, this gate that I made works really well when it's like paired with this specific building, you know? And so I just build, delete, build, delete, just trying out all the meshes until I feel confident, you know,
Yeah.
in building the actual layout. But I get a lot of flack for deleting my maps. I know the city map. I went through like maybe 5 iterations. There was like 3 attempts in the beginning that were super primitive, and then there were another 2 attempts where the buildings actually got a bit more detail for the most part, but like everything like looked, I remember we'd compare it to like North Korea. That's how gray and boring and simplistic a lot of the buildings looked. Even, I mean, they still look simplistic and gray, but it was worse, trust me. It was worse. And then I deleted it, and Roark was so pissed. But I made this version, and, you know, it got praise. And it's probably the #1 most played map in the game. So it just goes to show.
Right?
Sometimes it takes 5 iterations.
Oh shit, that's a I couldn't
It
I
sucks.
couldn't I couldn't think about like creating a map just to fucking yeet it and then create another. But I mean, if that's
Yeah.
if that's the work process of like how you make maps, and like thus far it
It doesn't
works.
have to be, but that's how I do it, I guess, you know.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, personally, I think it's a good workflow, but everyone has their different caveats, you know.
yeah. You actually kind of almost answered the next question, which was what is your process of making a map? So now we know that you're, what did you call it, white cube?
Uh, White box.
White box. So first you start off white boxing a map, right?
Yeah.
And then you start flying around, getting a feel for it. When does the assets and the actual, like, creating this map get into play?
Yeah, so I guess I'll just go into more detail about Pro Builder. So in Unity, there's a tool called Pro Builder that lets you basically 3D model, kind of like how you could in Blender, but in Unity. The controls are abysmal, but it does the job. You know, it works for the most part. And it's great for just testing the scale of things. Like if I want to see, oh, how wide should this doorway be, or maybe how tall should the average floor of a building be, I'll just use Pro Builder, or I'll just use cubes. Because luckily in Unity, the unit of measurement is it's meters. I mean, you can change it in Blender, but by default, I think it's meters in Blender. And Unity uses meters. And so I know a 4-meter tall cube in Unity is a 4-meter tall cube in Blender. So I could take that information. I could properly build meshes in Blender to the right scale, you know? So, and then that's really it. I'll just whitebox. I'll just create a bunch of like unique shapes that I think could work. And then I'll turn them into an actual mesh in Blender. And then import them. And then I'll start testing with that. Because I don't like testing with the white box. The white box for me is just to get scale and like a general idea. But as far as how long it takes for me to go from white boxing to actual meshes, really quick. Like within the first couple of days, honestly. It depends how dedicated I am. When I was working on like the game actively, I was super dedicated. So like every day I'd work on the game. And I'd be working on meshes for the map within like maybe the first or second day, you know, just because I'd get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I like to build up a collection before I start actually building the map. Like for the slums, when we had first announced it after the first tournament, I got straight into it. And I just made a bunch of modular building pieces and set up the groundwork so that later on I can plop them together and customize them and build them in multiple ways. And yeah, and it paid off for the most part because the slums was ready to do a layout pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that answered that question.
Yeah. What about so when you go into Unity
Yeah.
or Blender or whatever to start creating your assets, how does it work then? Like, are you able to fully transform these assets to your will, or is it like, oh shit, I made a fucking house for ants, I better fucking recreate all of this shit?
All right, so that totally depends on how you built the map, like your topology, how easy it is to customize the actual mesh. For example, I mean, you already know I'm working on Levi's house. Actually, I kind of already completed Levi's house, but after I plopped it into Unity, unfortunately, I went to walk on the roof, and it turns out the roof isn't 45 degrees. Like the character is able to walk on slopes that are 45 degrees. It might even be a little bit more than that. I can't remember, but the slope on like the roof on Levi's house, one side of it is greater than 45, which sucks because now I have to go into the mesh and like I have to fatten the house. I have to widen it so that slope goes down, you know, to below 45. 45-degree slopes are just stupid to look at anyway. Ideally, you do like 30 or something, but hey, man, it is what it is. So now I have to go into that mesh and I have to like fix it. So even though his house is like done, to release it in its current state would be pretty stupid. It's just not playable. Yeah, so I have to fix that, and it's kind of annoying because I've already built like I placed the doors and the windows and everything's like scaled properly. Now I have to pull a whole wall out, but if I pull one wall out, I got to pull the other wall out because it's like a triangular roof, so you can't just pull one side of a triangle. You have to pull both sides so that it retains that triangle shape. It's annoying.
So it actually looks normal.
Exactly, otherwise you get one side that's just drooping, to the left. It looks very silly.
I'd love to see that actually.
Yeah, well,
all right,
maybe later.
So, what map are you most proud of, and what map are you least proud of ever creating?
City is probably my most proud map, I guess. The layout of it feels like a city. I've been complimented like several times saying like, yeah, it looks like a legit city. Like the layout is great. Not talking about like the meshes, because the meshes are very copy paste. There's like 4 building types and like that's it.
Yeah.
But as far as the layout goes, um, I think I did a pretty good job. Um, with the layout and it is the most popular map, like for a reason. It obviously has its flaws. Like I hate that people only play city and they only play deathmatch, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a blessing and a curse, you know. Um, yeah, so city would be the most proud of map. You would think Utgard would be my least proud like map, but it's tricky because like visually I think Utgard looks like the best, or at least the most faithful, you know.
Okay.
um but it's also one of the worst played maps in the game because of the amount of dead space in the center, and how the tower is like the only interesting part of the entire map. So
So
yeah,
what is the
it's
least favorite map then? If you
the
because
least favorite map.
you like Utgard, but we can all agree that it's a fucking mess to play on. But like
Yeah,
now we're talking like you like that map. So what else is like your least favorite map when you're like,
visually like that map. Gameplay wise, which is more important, I don't like that map. But as far as a fun fact, that was actually my first map that I worked on in the game,
oh,
which explains some things.
which explains why it's
Um,
so bad. No,
exactly.
it looks really good, and it actually looks like something from the anime, but it just plays
It just doesn't
horribly.
play good.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like unless the entire game took place around the tower, it'd actually be a good map.
Yeah.
But the reality is it doesn't play around the tower. The tower isn't at the center of the map. The tower is on one edge of the map, and whoever spawns there gets a massive advantage. So,
Yeah.
don't like that. As far as favorite map, man, it's tricky because I didn't make caves, and I think caves is my least favorite just because of how. Not that I
Tropic
didn't make it,
playing
right?
out
It's
of
not
his
because of
mind.
that. It's because it's so repetitive
Yeah.
that and like, and here's the thing: the forest, in my eyes, is just better caves because like they both have cylinders, right?
Hmm?
Which I think we all can agree is like the best mesh to make or to have for maps. Orbiting around trees
Yeah, it's
is just
so
it's just
nice.
fun. It's smooth. Um so like forest is just caves, but like with distinctive points of interest.
When you're
So like I
saying it
want to
like
say
that, I can actually see that forest is literally better caves.
yeah. That's how I've always thought of it. You got your hero assets and you've got like elevation. Everything about it is just perfect. The only thing I can think of is some people like the rectangular nature of the crystal caves, which is fair. I think rectangle maps are actually ideal. Square maps are good if they're like small,
Yeah.
but I don't know. A lot of people like forest. I thought people hated forest, but a lot of people like forest apparently.
I
Um,
love forest. That is by far my favorite map until
yeah.
Slums comes out. I think Slums is
Oh
gonna
my
be my
god.
favorite map.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. We'll see. To answer your question, I think I am gonna have to go with Utgard for least favorite map. Cause yeah, I have to measure it based off playability, not
Yeah.
off of just looks. So yeah, Utgard is my least favorite,
Alright.
but it's tricky.
But yeah, I can definitely see what you mean with like the caves being very repetitive. It like I played a lot of competitive games on it, and I can tell you as well. You already
Hmm.
saw like my message that we must not speak about, but I told you my honest opinion about all of the maps, and
Yes.
it it just keeps on disappointing like caves.
Hmm.
There's no integrity to it. There's only one lane. There's no reason for you to ever deviate from that lane. You hit the enemy hard on, straight on, and you every single round when you respawn, you need to spend 5 seconds looking around. You'll be like, where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so
it's a
dumb.
problem, and it's just another. It shares one of the same problems from Utgard, in that you spawn and like get on a platform and fire thunder spears,
Yeah,
and because there is a lot of open space.
yeah,
The only
exactly.
thing is, I guess like unlike Utgard, um, the pillars block line of sight, so you could actually like flank. So it's not as bad as Utgard. Like you can't just pick thunder spears and just snipe, and it's easy like Utgard, but it does have the problem of Utgard in the sense that it's a relatively flat map with only pillars. If it wasn't for the fog, you'd be able to see across the map.
Yeah, it's
So, I don't know.
It's almost as if. So I'm gonna get in on the rectangular maps in a second.
Yeah.
But it's almost as is when you think about it that the more playability and the more space on a map, the more weak the map becomes. You know, like Utgard, there's
Yeah.
so much space and so much playability, but it just opens up for none being able to get each other, and it just like Thunderspear meta and stuff like that. But like Forest, it plays like so well
Perfect, apparently. Yeah.
until
Aside from Windmill.
yeah, aside from Windmill. And
Yeah.
what does Windmill have? Less trees, less like
Yeah.
more space. It's almost as if every time you look at these maps, all of the places with a lot of space and a lot of playability is just like the map's downfall. It's like a torture.
Absolutely.
It's so
And that's one of the problems with City is that the skybox or the ceiling doesn't come down low enough. So you create this open space that we're talking about, like above the buildings. Although you could argue even when you're in the streets, there's still open space because you're only moving forward or backwards. There's no like props in the middle of the street,
True.
Which that's tricky. I think city-based maps are really tricky to work on because of that, because no matter how you slice it, there's going to be fights in the middle of a street, and there's going to be nothing for you to grab onto to like get behind. The only thing that I can think of is quick dodge inside of the house if there's an opening or something, and there's not a lot of that on the current city map.
No.
And hopefully Slums fixes that.
Yeah, I also told you that's most of the times, like especially when I go down through like some of the streets and some of the alleys, it doesn't feel like it feels like a city, and it plays like a city. That's like the most important thing about it. But it feels like walls sometimes, like I'm grappling to walls because there's no, like you said, props or assets, and it's literally just like, oh, where am I gonna go? I'm gonna go up and above these houses, and that's how I'm gonna go with it.
That's usually how it plays out. It's just go above everything.
Exactly.
And I don't like that.
But yeah,
Anyway.
again, it's just a pet peewee as well from players because, as I said,
A pet peewee.
yeah, because it's kind of like you know pet peewees, right?
Pet peeve.
Is it called a peeve? I call it peewees.
Why do you call it peewee?
Because
like
I'm
fucking,
Danish, bro. I'm European. I don't know English. But
fucking Pee Wee Herman over here.
But yeah, like as I said before, the more like people tend to go towards open spaces because they feel more comfortable when they can see the enemy players. It's the same on Windmill. It's the same on City. They always go above the whatever it's called, the houses. Yeah, like they don't stay in cracks or in small alleyways. But it's like
Which
that is
funny.
where, that's where all the intense gameplay comes, right?
That's the complete opposite of like any shooter, because in any shooter game you'd want to sit close to like walls inside buildings and stuff, but in this game it's the total opposite.
Yeah, you want an overview of it.
Yeah, you asked before what makes the levels different. There you go, because the way you play the game is different than shooters. You want to be in an open area in order to feel safe, unlike in shooters where you want to be in enclosed spaces, Yeah,
you need cover. Here you don't care about cover because you need to get up close and personal. Unless you're a Thunderspear, then you want to stay far away, and being within
2/3 of the game is ranged weaponry, so
exactly. And even though the range on the APG could like be complemented by going through buildings and stuff like that, well, people are most definitely going to tend to like get an overview so they can see where enemies are coming from.
Yeah, very annoying. I definitely, for future maps, like if I ever rework City, the ceiling's coming down.
Yeah.
What I do is I just grab like a ruler and then I just go, oh, whatever, like maybe 10 meters or 5. No, that sounds too much. Maybe like 5 meters above a building, there should be a ceiling or something,
Yeah. So people are forced to not go over.
Well, that way you can develop muscle memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like if there's a ceiling 5 meters above every roof, then the player can develop muscle memory and be like, okay, I know if I upburst for a little too long, I'm gonna hit the ceiling because I'm directly above a building right now. Whereas if you have the ceiling at like one point, let's say the city is built into like 3 levels or maybe 2 levels really. If you're on the highest point of the map and you're on top of a roof there, if you upburst, there's a good chance you might hit your head. But if you're on the lowest level and you're on top of a roof and then you upburst, you're not going to hit your head because there's all this dead space. Whereas what I would do is just put a ceiling 5 meters above every roof. That way there's consistency. You know,
Yeah,
and you could build that muscle memory.
Yeah, exactly.
Next question.
Create personal roofs for people, like.
Oh my god. Yeah, right. Donator roofs. Donate to the game and get your own custom roof.
Yeah, you can pay for 10-meter roof instead.
Oh my god.
Okay, actually,
don't give people ideas.
before going on to the next question, I wanted to say, like, so you were talking about square maps, like we can all agree 24th is pretty square, and City is square, like somewhat square as well.
Not at all.
Is it not?
No, fly. You're in the game right now. Fly up and look at the map and tell me if it's square.
Oh yeah, I know it's like curved at the ends, but you know it still has this kind of like square gameplay where it feels like a the map is like cut up in quadrants and a middle part.
It's somewhere in between a square and a rectangle. I'll give you that.
Okay.
It's not as rectangular as Crystal Caves because Crystal Caves isn't as wide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But like City is just big. Like it's wide, but it's also long.
But I was thinking when you said like rectangular maps, like city, like caves doesn't work too well, and you don't find that city and training forest size maps are that like well working. What about a mix of those? You know, where you have like a rectangular kind of way, but it widens up in the middle. You know, it kind of gets like this. What can you call it?
A choke.
Yeah, almost like a choke. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, but I literally don't know the word for that for like.
Yeah, no, a choke would probably be the right word there. Hey, let's go Woodchan. Congratulations on winning the match.
Woodchan.
Yeah, I guess choke would work there. I mean, that kind of sounds like what I want to do for the Crystal Cave rework if I were to ever do it.
Yeah.
Right? If I were to do a Crystal Caves rework, I would totally make it so that maybe 60% into the map, right? So not quite in the middle, but not at the edge.
Yeah.
There's the cave, you know what I mean, from the anime where it leads into the altar room.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and that kind of like. But I unlike that, I would have multiple ways to get into the altar room. You don't want to have only one cave to get into the altar room, otherwise that would be a disaster.
Yeah.
I'd probably have smaller holes, like smaller caves that players can use to like sneak into the altar room. That could be really cool, actually.
That could actually be kind of nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just gotta be careful of those dungeon spears.
A quick yes or no question. Are you satisfied with all of your maps?
No.
I think I'm just gonna be fast with it because you kind of already explained all of your maps, but I still wanted to hear you say something about it.
Yeah. No. Honestly, no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Some of them decent. Rest, no. Not really.
At launch, I was, but like as time goes on, obviously you get better, and you're just like, damn, I could do that so much better.
Yeah, looking at a map like, bro, what the fuck was I thinking?
Exactly.
All right.
We should probably answer some questions before they get buried. Sorvet, or as I like to call him, Sorvet. I don't know why people say Sorvet, but if he wants to be called Sorvet, it's his name. I don't discriminate. Asks, how long did the Slums sneak peek layout / map sketch take to make? Honestly, I think that took like a week or two, to be honest. When we announced it, I just got straight into it. And I had like the assets. The only thing that I needed was, one, I needed more hero assets. Two, I needed to figure out something more permanent for the actual cave walls. I'm still working on that. I didn't have a canal, right? Like now we have a canal, although that needs to be reworked. So I was still missing stuff, but I had enough to just make a sneak peek, you know? So that only took like 2 weeks. Yes. Okay. Let's see, anything else? I just want to get through some questions before they get buried.
Sorvet also asked about gates and city when.
Gates and city when?
Yeah,
oh,
gates
in city.
In city when.
When City gets reworked, there will be new interesting things in the city. I don't know. You're definitely not gonna put gates in the city. Like, I don't want to touch any of the existing maps. I just want to like rework them, you know,
Yeah.
when the time comes. Unless there's like something really wrong with it. Like windmill, it doesn't hurt to just put some more trees down. You know what I mean?
True.
And throw that into the patch, like the next patch. Like, why not? If that's what it takes to fix windmill, why not? What I mean is I won't do anything drastic. I won't do anything significant. Honestly, I could put gates in the city map. It really wouldn't take that long.
A
I don't know if I
petition.
will, but
Petition
yeah.
from my side off. If
Yeah.
you put a gate or put gates around the or in the city, can we
Yeah.
have on Gansu wall? Can we have his name engraved
Oh my
above
god.
the as a little Easter egg, like just above, very small, named Gansu on the on the gate.
Fucking Gansu wall.
Gansu
You know,
wall.
to this day, I actually still have no idea where that is. I'm assuming it's near a government building,
Can you see on the stream right now?
like top left,
No, like straight up, like all
straight up.
the long wall going from government, what you call government,
Oh,
all the
so
way
like
to
where the
Villa,
gate would actually
where
be.
the gate would actually be. We have one
Oh,
player who
okay.
has like infamously put his name on that wall.
Okay, I got you. Also, I just realized what you meant by gates
Yeah.
on the city map. You didn't mean what I think of,
No,
like in
you
slums.
were we
You
were
mean the
talking about some
actual city gates.
yes.
No.
No,
No.
no
No.
gates.
No gates.
Oh, this is not canon.
Yeah, no, there's like gates literally wouldn't serve any purpose. Like to add them right now. I would do them in the map rework. Like there, I just didn't feel a reason to add them in the first place, just
Understand.
because we were running out of time and there was really no reason to add them. And it's not like you can go on top of the walls, you know? They're just walls.
Can't you just take like an asset from one of the buildings, like the doors, and just plump like a small door in front of it, and be like, "Yep, that's it.
I mean,
Great work."
I can grab the one door prefab that we have for
Yes.
city and just fucking scale it up by 200, and there you go.
Do
No,
that.
we're not gonna do that. No, I thought you meant like gates, as in like in the slum sneak peek.
Yeah.
Show the gates off.
That's why I wanted to get you on the right direction, because I know that there's something about you and Gates
I
that's
love
some
gates.
chemistry. Yeah,
It's a running meme
there's some
with
chemistry in
me.
there.
So fun fact, I told Tropic this already, but I'll say it again for all of you guys. And Roark's probably grinding his teeth right now. But the whole reason I wanted to make the slums map is specifically because I had an obsession with the 5 frames that you see the gate in the No Regrets OVA, where he does that cool sequence where he goes through the building, he like squeezes through the gate, you know. I don't know, that like stuck with me, and it just gave me like the inspiration to be like, dude, that's a really cool prefab to like place, you know, like that's great for an entrance to an alleyway. Boom, gate, like spit you out on the other side of something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so boom, that was what started my love affair with the slums.
Oh,
That is all.
fucking.
So yes,
Gates.
that's what I think of when it comes to gates. Also, that gate, it can go up or down.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, there are
All right,
some
next
more
question.
questions in chat that I want to get through at some point, but there is actually like some questions that I want to get through first, like from that was
Yes,
sent in,
of course.
and one of them actually answers some of that, I think.
Okay.
But first up, we will get through textures. Someone asked about textures. You already kind of went through that, I feel like.
Yeah, so textures,
Yeah.
I want textures. I really, really want textures. It's not that I don't want it, it's just I personally can't make textures. Like, I'm not a 2D artist, and just because someone can draw 2D art doesn't necessarily mean that they can do it, because you want someone that understands 3D modeling and knows how to UV unwrap. Because ideally we have a workflow where I create 3D models and then I hand them off to someone, and then, you know, they UV unwrap it, and then they texture it. And then there's a consistency there where that guy is the texture artist. You know, he is the guy that will unwrap all these meshes, and he will texture everything, and everything will look consistent and clean. That's what we want, but that's what we don't have.
Looks
So that's why
disappointed
there's no
onto Vip.
textures. Yeah, no, Viv can't do it. We've tried. I mean, in his current state, he can't do it. You know, who's to say in a couple months from now
Yeah,
that
maybe in the
he
future.
can't do it? Yeah, maybe, or maybe someone applies. Who knows? We'll see.
All
Have
right.
to check the announcements real quick.
All right. Any future map plans?
Okay. So this is why I wanted to check the announcements.
Yes.
we mentioned in the announcements our intentions for the future, right? We want to start a subscription service, and we, want a content roadmap. We want to open up the team applications and all this stuff. Just to summarize the announcement, yeah, all the donations at this point have gotten us to this point where we can now do this monthly subscription thing, right?
Yeah.
To basically incentivize working on the project. I actually had to step away from the project, and we were almost screwed, but we came to a agreement, and now I'm still here, and we figured out a potential way to work on the project while still making something, hopefully,
Yeah.
off of it. I personally don't mind working on the project even if I make grossly, like if I'm being grossly underpaid, because it's still a fan project at the end of the day, and I like doing it. Getting a little bit of money is just like, hey, I don't have to shoot myself. So for future content, yeah, it all depends on how successful the subscription services. Cube asked for like $200 to make Historia, and people are really interested in funding the project to get more content out of it. So if they really are interested, we'll see, because if they fund it, hell yeah, there will be tons of new content. I'm not going to speak for other people's stuff on the roadmap, but I can speak for my stuff on the roadmap. I personally want to work on Liberio. I want to work on, Slava. You actually mentioned the King's Palace.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea for a small map. Someone actually mentioned a small map in the chat before. I forgot to acknowledge him, but there you go, acknowledgement. I like the idea of a palace map because it would be a small map. However, it would have this large interior in the center. There'd still be an exterior, but there'd be an interior, and that would be the main focus of the map. And I think that is different compared to any other map in the game.
Yeah.
Like, sure, Utgard has an interior, but like it's not this huge interior at the center of the map,
No, exactly. It's merely a tower to like traverse through, or a diner to like spend time in there and say, what the fuck am I doing in here?
Exactly. Yeah, I'd love to rework a lot of the maps in the game. Like, I can make them more performance friendly. I can rework them better now that I know what people look for in maps. Like making flanking routes that people can take, or lowering the ceiling. There's all kinds of things you can do. It all depends on how successful the roadmap is. Or the funding is.
So now we know like Liberia and Slava, and all of these type of, like, also we talked about King's Castle.
Palace.
Yeah, King's Palace, whatever we want to call it. Are there any like private kind of stuff that you thought, hey, that would maybe look cool when you saw the anime, or when you were walking down the street? Yeah, something that you want to create.
To be honest, no. Because I kind of bandwagon with everyone else, and I totally agree that Liberio should be made.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to make Liberios since before Season 4 even came out, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. So if a new map were to come, it would like have to be Liberio. I think it's only fair to assume that.
Yeah.
Is that Liberio confirmed? No. But if a new map were to come out, Liberio has like the greatest chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Of being done.
So it's more that Roark or some guy comes to you and they're like, hey, would this map be cool? And you're like thinking about it.
No, not at all.
No or yes.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
It's up to me if I want to do the map. I'm usually the one that like thinks of what map could even work or what map we should work on, and I think Roarks the one that actually shut me down for good reason to not add Liberio into the game, just because there was not enough time
Oh.
to add Liberio. Like, you know, we gotta test all 4 maps. Screw Arena. We have to test all 4 maps and fix, you know, any issues with it. It takes a lot of time. So yeah, there wasn't enough time to do Liberio. And when it came down to Slums or Liberio, we decided Slums. I mean, I decided Slums because, like I said, the gate. And I actually worked on Slums at one point, but it got canned because I was not satisfied with it, and there was not enough time to, you know, fix it.
Yeah.
You know, I went through. We talked before about me deleting shit. That was literally me. I built it, and I was like, dude, this sucks.
Out with it.
Yeah, and oh man, Rourke was so pissed at me. But like looking back now, I'm just saying, I think it was worth it because the Slums that we have now is way better than the Slums that I made, you know, way back before the game came out.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes sacrifices need to be made.
Yeah, you also gotta think about, like, you developed some new skills, some new experiences, and for myself, I would most definitely say that I would much rather have you work on like an astonishing map like King's Palace after you've done like the initial startup and like learned more and more, and so you can really make this stunning 1 versus 1 or like smaller map. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like reworking the characters. Like everyone on the team and plenty of fans want to see more characters, but more importantly, they want to see skins.
Yeah.
And Kenny. But in order to do that, you have to take the necessary steps to set up like that foundation. You know, you need to make a new rig, and then you need to redo every single character, and then you need to redo every single animation. So it's like a really long, daunting task. For me, the reason why that's so similar is because, like, great, Slums is gonna come out, but now every other map in the game just like needs a rework, you know, because they're not made with that same mindset. They're not made with like the performance saving skills that I've, you know, come to develop. So like, it's tricky. That's why I don't want to say Liberio confirmed, because like, yes, it depends on the funding on the roadmap, but it also depends on what we all agree on, including supporters. Like people that donate, they get access to a channel where they get to talk to us and give feedback and vote on things, which I think is cool because it brings us closer with like supporters, and they get to have a say in the matter of like what they would prefer. Maybe people prefer that I rework all the maps first before we even move on to Liberio.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that I believe I should do. But like, maybe everyone disagrees. Maybe everyone wants Liberio. Maybe no one wants Liberio. Maybe people want King's Palace. I don't know. We have to see.
It's the same kind of problem we were actually met with when Cube was like, or Cube said, "Hey, $200 and I add Historia." Like, it's the same kind of problem we're sitting with here, because now we have seen the Irwin sneak peek, and we can all agree that Irwin is most definitely the best detailed and the most well-made character in the game right now.
It's a double-edged sword.
Exactly.
Like with the current rig that we have, we hack new characters into the game. We literally just create a head and stick it on like the same like body.
Exactly.
You know.
So now we will get we have heard that we will most definitely get Historia. So now we have 2 higher class characters. Yeah, exactly. Now we have 2 higher class characters. These will look so out of bounds with the rest of the cast of characters. So
absolutely.
A new rig would most definitely be like a better version, but then we have to rework all the characters, and the same goes for the map. Now, the thing I'm most afraid of is that right now we're like, we've seen the underground map.
Yeah.
And if when the underground map releases, will people look at it, say this is so great, and they will look at the rest of the maps and be like, why are these so fucking ugly? We need them all remade, or will they be like, ask for more maps just in that case?
I think that's a very high possibility. Like, I think there'll be people that be like, no, this map sucks. Like, I don't care about the performance options because my computer's good enough anyway. Like, most people that have good rigs, they don't have problems with the existing maps. You know what I mean? It's just a large percentage of our fan base
Yeah.
is not fortunate enough to have a super elite gaming computer. um, but yeah, they might look at the map and be like, "Wow, that is shit." You know, the old maps are better. Or maybe other people would be like, "Wow, this new map is great." You know, rework the other maps, please, because that is a concern of mine, and that's why I say I think I should rework the other maps before I work on any other new map.
Yeah.
But it ultimately depends on what everyone agrees on. You know, the general consensus.
Yeah. The next.
One thing,
Yeah.
sorry, just one thing. One thing it will share in common is the fact that it won't be textured. So at least visually, it won't be too different. Although the buildings do have a bit more detail compared to like the city map, for example. Like I'm looking at these disgusting buildings here in the city,
Yeah.
and like, man, whew,
They are something.
they are something else, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
This one,
no.
what map do you dream about making? It's you kind of already answered about that because it was like you don't really have anything you really wanted to make, but you wanted like great ideas like King's Palace and Liberia and like remake all the old maps. But is there like a map that you kind of dream about making, or is it just
Hmm.
like nah?
Uh, no, yeah, it's really just Liberio, I think. The only thing I can think of is like, I don't know, some kind of arena map
It
um
works.
where it works. It just works. Cuz like then you can add whatever you want. You're not restricted to any kind of realistic, like I can have floating cubes in the ceiling if I really wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
Ultimately, and this is something that we've talked about. This isn't confirmed, but another thing that we would love to have for the maps is to have some kind of dynamic element to the maps.
Oh.
So what that means is having things move around. So on Liberio, having an airship that floats around the map that the player can actually hook onto and like ride, you know. For Slava, having an armored train that moves around the map. You know, those are things. A windmill moving, yes, Bruce. Those are things that I would love to have. So while Liberio is my dream map, my actual dream map is to just have Liberio with like an airship, or Slava with the moving armored train that docks at the center of the map, you know, and
Yeah.
like rotates and shifts onto a new track, you know. Those are how you make future maps super interesting,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, so there's no one particular static map that I want to work on. It's more so that I just want to work on interactive maps. But that's not up to me. I'm not a programmer. For that to happen, it's not up to me. It totally depends on how well funded the our Ko-fi plan is.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just Ko-fi. You could subscribe on Twitch, but you know what I mean. How well the funding goes,
Exactly. Yeah,
because
Kofi is the
there
best
are
way,
things.
but yeah.
Yeah, there are things that I can do, but there are other things that I am totally dependent on Roark or other programmers that maybe want to apply. You know, it's up to them to make those things happen.
Now, what you're saying
Fingers
is
crossed.
now what you're saying is kind of bleeding into the next question, Levolution.
Okay. Evolution?
No, Levolution.
Levolution. The hell does that mean?
Basically, Levolution on maps, stuff moving, doing stuff, a kind of uh, you know Battlefield where like sometimes
Oh,
the
thank you,
cities
Sorbet.
blows up and the towers fall down, and where you can like there are some specific places on the map that can be created and formed by the player, maybe a wall that you can run like burst through and it
Yeah.
breaks, stuff like that. Levolution.
Yeah, so pretty much what I was just talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've definitely talked about like interactables, like yes, the airship, the moving train, a moving windmill. Maybe the windmill kills you if you get smacked by it. There are other things such as stalactites on a cave. Maybe you can shoot the stalactite and then it'll fall down and it
Ooh.
could potentially kill people, or more importantly, it falls down and now it becomes a part of the map. So now you can like grapple onto the thing and it becomes like this like extra pillar in the center of a road. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
On
exactly.
caves. And then maybe there's like pallets that you can break that open up shortcuts, through a building or
Yeah.
through an alleyway or something. I mentioned in King's Palace, I mentioned this to Rourke, in King's Palace, if we had that tech in the game to make those things possible, like the stalactites, you can get away with adding chandeliers.
Yeah, I was
That,
just about to say chandeliers.
yeah, you can shoot chandeliers that can fall on the ground, and maybe we can do a fire effect where the fire like spreads on the ground, and now you've got this prop on the ground that adds as another obstacle, on the ground to hook onto, or just like provide cover.
Yeah.
It just makes the maps more dynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the best way to take the maps, like in the future, to give them more life.
Yeah, but what we're talking about right now, like this is like the end game kind of thing. When you have created well-looking maps, well, like dynamic, like good maps that play well and are competitive integrate, like this is like the last straw where we say, okay, we have a chandelier falling on this motherfucker's heads now, right? It's like the end station we're talking about.
The end goal?
Yeah, I feel like
yeah.
there's a lot of code and a lot of like process
Yep.
behind that.
Yeah. There's a lot of prep work. Like, I talked about it with Rourke, and ideally, if he were to do it, he wants to ultimately have a tool where I can be totally independent. A tool where I can basically do whatever I want with it, right? To squeeze as much value out of it. That way he doesn't have to keep writing, new code for like every map, just one tool that allows me to make maybe things move, maybe make things rotate, make things dynamic so that like when you shoot it, it like falls, whatever the case may be. Having that tool is like the way we get to that end goal, right? Where we make these maps more dynamic.
Yeah.
That's like the easiest way to pull this off, because you can't rely on him to write code for every single map.
No, exactly.
I need to be completely independent on this,
Yeah. But yeah, that would really be insane, like an insane addition. Boards being able to be broken down and stuff like that.
Also,
Gates being able to open.
Yeah, I mean, like imagine doors, interactable doors that you could like open and close. Like things like that too could actually go a long way.
Yeah.
Imagine breaking doors, like you can open and close them, but if it's like a wooden door, you can actually like blow it up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Sorvet in chat mentions weather effects. That's another thing that we talked about. Again, not confirmed, but it's just things that we have like mentioned regarding maps. Like, oh, let's play this map at night, or let's play this map in a blizzard, or like, snow version of it. It's literally just the same map, but there's snow. Maybe visibility is more, I don't know, fog is more dense because it's in the middle of a blizzard.
Yeah.
Weather effects are cool. Low priority, but something that we have talked about.
I actually talked on my last stream. I think maybe even with the one before that. It's been a long time. I actually talked with a guy about like maps and stuff like that, and what maps I wanted to see in the game. And I talked to him about like there's one episode in Attack on Titan where you see like Historia and Ymir walking, doing this scout mission in the mountains with snow. And
oh my God.
I would like I said I would love like a cave snow mountain kind of map where you can go in and out between caves, and there are like fallen trees, and a mix between a heavy mountain training forest and snowy map.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Maybe have like a square base map where like one corner is like the HQ, and then like another corner is just like the mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's like a cave that goes from the lowest part of the map and takes you all the way up to the highest part of the map. Ideally, you have branching caves that can spit you out somewhere in the middle.
Exactly.
And then in between is just like a forest.
Yeah, exactly. That was my idea. And then you have the snow of course to settle that this is like on this very specific mission from the anime, like a turning point or like point of interest, hero models as you talked about.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
That
was something
I like
talked
the idea of
about,
caves. Yeah. The cave thing that you mentioned is something that I would like to implement on Crystal Caves. Like I mentioned how I want to have that choke point where there's the gate, right, where they drop the net to close off the entrance to the altar room. That's what I would do. I'd have like there would be that giant cave that takes you to the altar, but there would be smaller caves that the player can go through to get to the altar room, and
Yeah.
that's similar to what I would want.
Now
in the
that we
rework.
talk about net, holy damn, and like
That's
dynamic
another thing that
gameplay,
can be
that was a
interactive.
nice thing
Yeah.
you could add. Like a net coming down, and if people got caught in it, it would literally like stun them and send them to the floor, some stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, that requires
Yeah,
work
lots
from
of coding.
Roark, but yeah, I can't answer that for him. But that
Yeah.
would be cool, dropping a net. Even if it just like dropped a cube collider and like you smacked into the wall and like it just blocked off, you know, the tunnel.
Yeah.
Even that would be fine. And then ideally you could like shoot it to like make it collapse. Maybe you have to shoot it in like 2 spots or something and it'll fall down and you could get into the altar.
Yeah.
The thing with the interactive maps though is that there'll always be that one loser that will spawn in the second the game starts and be like, ha ha ha, and just shoot everything.
Exactly.
You know? So that's why you don't just want to like add it just to add it. You want to add it after thinking, okay, how does this affect it after it's been used? That's why I say with the stalactites, if you shoot a stalactite and it falls down, yeah, sure, it could kill someone. It's not likely it's going to kill someone, but it stays there on the ground and it acts as another pillar that you can hook onto, you know? So even if they shoot it at the start, whatever, it still has value.
Yeah, like some way you could turn this as well. You know, the net falling down. Okay, now we have shot the net, or we have like cut the net, so now that has fallen down. And then if you proceed to like fly through the net and cut it, then it opens up the middle, but the rest around it is still like a solid, you know, something like that. So it still has meaning in the game.
Yeah, that could be cool too. I can imagine like flying and then like you go to like lunge with like the ODM and you just like cut through the net and like it'll sap your momentum because obviously you just cut through a net. You shouldn't be able to go through the thing full speed. But you create a hole, right? It's a one-time thing. You saps your momentum one time, but it creates a hole.
Exactly.
And now you can fly through it. Yeah, again, I can't comment about that. That's up to Roark. I don't know how complicated that would be. It sounds pretty complicated.
Yeah,
it'd probably be easier to just attack the thing in 1 or 2 spots and then have the whole thing drop. But yeah, that would be more interesting though, to like cut a hole. But sometimes it's not about what's more interesting. It's about, you know, getting it in and is it worth it to get it in?
Yeah,
like in its roughest
it's
state,
fun.
is it worth it? Yeah, exactly. Like, is it worth it in its roughest state? Because at that point, yeah, I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah. All right.
Next question.
There are actually not that many questions left.
Let's go.
And these are so we're gonna get these out of the way. These are 2 like independent questions away from the map thing, and then we can like return to the map thing.
Sure.
One guy has asked, in the original Route Definitive Guide, may you please explain the meaning and the purpose of your folder which has the name Midget Clown Porn?
Oh my god.
People have keen eyes.
Yeah, people really do. What the fuck? Mind your business. Midget Clown Porn is a folder of mine that where I keep my midget clown porn, obviously. Duh.
So it's basically Levi.
No, it's yeah, it's Levi. No, that's my meme folder, where I keep all my memes. And I call it midget clown porn because it pops up on frequent, right? Like on recent things for the file explorer, right? So like you'll see it, you'll always see it. And rather than just calling it like meme folder, I just thought it'd be way funnier to call it midget clown porn because I would often stream my screen and people would see my file explorer. And for the most part, it's boring. It's just like, hey, videos, photos, meshes, or REOT, like, you know, GitHub related stuff. And then there'll be another folder where it's just like midget clown porn. And I just love having it there. I don't know, it's funny. So there you go. That's where I store my memes.
Amazing.
And midget clown porn is like the most stereotypical, gross fetish, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like, which is not true. It is probably not the grossest fetish you can think of, but for some reason, the internet decided, at least when I was a wee lad, that midget clown porn is the most vile of kinks. Although I think we can all agree there are plenty more things worse than midget clown porn.
It's tough to pick one out of them all.
The fucking thousands, yeah, I know. But yeah, that's how Midget Clown Porn came to be. There you go. You're welcome.
Okay, the very last question before we can dive into the chat and also like just freely talk about like maps and you and like how it's all going. And this is like a two-part thing. So what do you think about the competitive scene, and how do you feel the competitive players or the pro players are treating your maps?
Um, I hate every one of you. I hope you all die. No, kidding. I don't follow it as much as I probably should. That's something that I really should change. But I do listen to feedback when you or other players like tell me things about the map. Sometimes, yeah, I've noticed it, right? At other times, no, I haven't noticed it. And, thanks for bringing that to my attention. I love the pro scene just because, like, it increases the longevity of the game, right? So that's great. And I also like it because of what I just said, like getting feedback. The old testers were great, I mean, well, they had their moments. But the pro players, they're just a different breed, right?
Yeah.
Like our old testing team was like more of like the casual side of the game, which is fine. But then there's the pro scene, which will reveal things that like you didn't even think you could find, right? Until it's presented to you, right? So it's great actually, because now I get a real good sense of like what works for maps, what doesn't, what people want. So yeah, I can only think of positive things. As much as I want to be negative, I can only think of positive things to say regarding the pro scene. I still find the whole thing insane that this fan game has a pro scene. Kind of cringe,
Yeah.
but it's kind of
Roarks
cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's I think like in the beginning everyone could really like see that this game was fun and all that, but it was like really first when we started experiencing with like the maps and roof jumping and like getting good
Yeah.
at the game, we actually like saw that this game might, like, if it really blows up and gets really popular, it might get a competitive scene. And then some people were like, well, why don't we just start it? And it just
Yeah.
turned into it.
I always knew there were going to be like, people that were really good at this game, and I always knew there would be people that wanted to like, hey, 1v1 me, or like host their own independent tournaments, but I never actually thought it would blow up like this much. It's actually pretty popular for an indie game,
Yeah.
and for a fan game at that point,
I also
Sorry.
oh yeah, excuse you. Holy damn. I'll give it like a 7 out of 10 because it has some good bass, but the pitch was like a bit too low.
Damn, I stepped away from the mic and everything too.
Yeah,
That's too bad.
damn. So, but yeah, I actually think I still stand by my statements about like when the new patch comes out, and hopefully Roark will like tease it some way on the YouTube channel or in any other way or form. I really still stand by that. If someone gets this game in their hands, like some famous YouTuber, sadly not
Yeah.
me, we can most definitely like bring the game's attention to a peak where people will be like, wait, there's a pro scene in this. You can do whatever you
Yeah.
want. You can be wherever you want. You can like literally attack wherever you want. This is kind of cool. Like I really think it has the
Yeah.
potential to blow up because it's such a special and unique game, as you
Well,
mentioned.
it definitely does have potential to blow up, but it has even more potential to be like its own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like its own like original game. That we can't do ourselves, just because if we did that, we want to do it right, and we don't have the team for that. But in the current state of the game, we can totally keep working on it and building on it.
Yeah.
And it's got tons of room to grow even more. Like we're working on the first major balancing patch, right? A whole new map is being introduced to the game. Like that's a pretty significant update, for a game like this. But yeah, especially for a fan game. The game gets a lot of attention. Like from the developers,
Yeah.
more than you would think.
It's just not it isn't just a hit and quit. It's actually like we're talking about a game that was like a hobby at first. It still is a hobby, but
Yeah.
let's be honest that no one really expects when you hear the word fan game that there would be a fucking balance update.
Yeah, exactly. You would think, okay, you get that one update, people play, and then they get bored of it and they stop playing for
Yeah,
like until the next update, if the game even lives to see that update.
exactly.
This game, I followed a lot of fan games in my life. You know, like yeah, I've seen the demise of almost every fan game that I've been a part of. This is the only fan game that I've seen that was really able to stand on its own two legs and just keep going. You know, like it didn't get shut down, thankfully. Knock on wood, that could still happen. But
Yeah.
and it's still, but it's more importantly, it's still getting love. Like it's still getting work done. I don't know if you've ever heard of ESF. It's a fan game for Dragon Ball Z.
No, not really.
That game came out in 2001 for Half-Life, and then they like switched over to Unity, and they're still working on the next update to this very day. It is 2021.
Yeah, holy shit, that's a
The
long time.
people that played the first update have graduated and have kids. Let that sink in.
It's insane, man. Like that's
So a
that's
lot
what
of
I want this game to become. I want this game to have like this grand entrance into like being presented as a proper esports game or a proper casual
yeah,
game where people can just relax and have fun, and where we or you guys can, I'm not gonna say we because I'm not a part of the dev team, but where
yeah.
you guys can actually make like some sort of a earning from it,
Mm.
and actually like get all the things that everyone wants, because it's such a unique and special game that it deserves dedicated servers, it deserves like progression system, it deserves you being able to like make some sort of money off of making like good assets and maps and fine polishing all of this shit.
Yeah. No, I'd love that.
Yeah.
Progression would be sick. I mean, the one thing I hate about the current game, like aside from mechanics, I'm not going to talk about that, but like as far as content goes, yeah, there's no real progression in the game, and that's because we didn't really have a way to add progression in a meaningful way,
No.
you know. But I don't know. I'm not going to say anything, but that would be. Well, you know, it's possible.
Sneak peek.
Possible. No, no,
Sneak peek.
no, no. It's
You're-
possible. We don't know yet, but it's possible.
You're not gonna do a cube.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do a cube.
Oh.
God damn you, cube.
Yeah, when he said
Historia
the
for
spin was
$200.
removed and Historia, holy damn, everyone was losing
Oh
their
my
mind.
god. Yeah, no, that's a problem. $200 for Historia. I'm weak.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, it's great. We get Historia, but at the same time, it's just like, great, another character with the shitty rig.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice job, you know.
I was actually talking about
But-
that as well. Like, if I just had been thinking a little, we would have bumped up the price and said, okay, make it a new rig and we'll make a fucking deal.
Yeah. See, with the rig thing, that takes time.
Yeah.
Like, I think Cube can bang it out. I mean, I'm not Cube, so don't take my word as law, but I think he could bang it out in like 4 or 5 months, maybe. But that like requires decent funding to like incentivize working on it every month. Cause like, sure, maybe he'll get the funding to do a new rig, but like, just because you did a new rig doesn't mean it's done. Now you have to redo every animation in the game, and you have to redo every character in the game.
Exactly.
So
you can't just take the
it's
head
more
now
than
and
just
hack it
making a
on.
new rig. Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, we want skins, right? Like, if we do a rig, we want to do it right. We want, hey, Kenny, or hey, skins where it's like no jacket, or like something else. I don't know.
The
I can't
pool
think of
party
the skins.
DLC.
Pool party DLC.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, knowing Roark, he'd probably be like, that's too much fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you have to draw a line as well. Like, where are we crossing
What
this
is
line?
Yeah, what is realistic and what is fucking stupid?
Yeah.
Like Bunny Armin.
Yeah, Barney
Like-
arm.
Like who said? Yeah, I don't know. I don't. You know what? Don't even give them clout Whoever said Bunny Armin, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Exactly. Like Cube comes up to Roark, looks him deep in the eyes, and asks him, "Do we really want to see Historia in a bikini flying around in the middle of Liberio?" And then
I
Roark is
mean,
like, "You're out."
I'll take beach skins over Bunny Armin any day of the week.
True. Can we get charcoal Armin?
What?
Charcoal Armin after he got burned.
Is that like a junior high reference?
Oh no, you don't. It's fine. You don't understand it.
No, 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 yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
Charcoal
Yeah,
Armin.
you had me there. Anyway, before I lose my train of thought, which I think I already did, I mentioned before, like I didn't get to finish and it like cut off and then it like now it looks bad. Oh yeah, progression and stuff. You know, I can't comment on progression, but like I can say I think that's something that would make the game great. Like that's one problem I have with the game is the lack of content.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great for the pro scene, but in my opinion, there's not too much there for like casuals, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the weaker sides of the game. I think progression actually gives people a reason to play the game other than just for competitive, you know? I want other people other than just pros to enjoy the game. Otherwise, your entire player base is just the pro scene. Yeah. And while that's, you know, that's fine, but like ideally that's just not ideal.
Exactly. Like
yeah.
I've seen
and there's other things you can do besides you know, skins.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like add what were we like? You could probably add like I don't know, tags or like special. I've talked a lot about, you know, how I don't know if you know like the what is it called, Rocket League, where you can get like say this every time, but in Rocket League you can get like special boosters, like special smoke coming out of your booster packs.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. See, well, no, that's the thing with like progression. If we had some kind of system to add skins to the game or like give each player in the game their own identity, that would be cool. Like giving them custom smoke effects, giving them hats, fucking hats, skins, like, you know, just like reasons to play the game and like unlock certain things. I actually mentioned one thing where like you should be rewarded for playing certain characters. Like maybe you want to unlock a skin for Jean. Well, the only way to get it is to play Jean, and that forces you to play Jean. You know what I mean? Like if you want to unlock a Jacula's version.
That is so great, honestly. Like, we talked about that last time as well when we talked about characters and skins and stuff like that. I come from a time where when you wanted something, if you saw a skin like to a character or like to a special weapon or a special like something they used, well, you had to play for it. You had to spend time on it, and like
exactly,
it would be so nice if you, like as you said, if you played Jean and there was a Jean skin. It took like, let's say 200 kills with APG.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna go in and grind for 200 kills with APG or something like that.
Yeah, or just games played. You know what I mean? Like
time hours spent on the character, something like that.
Like there's so many ways you can do it. Like maybe it's not like kills, because maybe kills is actually weapon skins. Like imagine there were weapon skins where you had to get X kills with the weapon. You could use any character, but you know, you had to get X kills with a certain weapon in order to get the skin. And then you needed X games played with a certain character to get the skin for that character. There's like so many ways you can do it. And I think that's great. I think that adds more playability to the game, because now people will play the game for more than just clout, you know?
Exactly.
They'll play it because they're a completionist.
Let alone integrated levels.
Why I play Overwatch?
Yeah, but
I don't play Overwatch for comp.
Oh, for skins?
I play it for skins and like for voice lines and just fuck around for the most part.
But yeah,
I ain't got time for comp. Fucking developer.
Let alone a decent normal level system with progression where you get a new badge every time you like level up. That would literally be like a progress, like some sort of acknowledgement that, hey, you're level 100 now. That you need like 1,000 kills to get to a level 100. You've made something, right?
I don't know about levels, like, because I don't know what's possible, what's not possible.
No, but you know, it's the basic.
But like, if it were there, that's totally what you think of for progression is levels. I personally, like, what Overwatch does is they have levels where they don't mean anything really.
Yeah.
Like they give you a banner, right? It gives you some clout, but it doesn't do anything for you.
No.
And I think that's cool. I think that's fine. Or I don't know if we can do it, but like it'd be cool if there was like levels where you just like you get like a different border or something after a certain amount of levels, you know. But yeah, there's ways.
There's potential.
There's ways, and then there's always potential for hackers though to like
Oh yeah.
you know to steal everything. The hackers will always find a way to like ruin the fun for everyone.
Exactly. Sadly.
Gameplay wise and even cosmetic wise. If it's in the game, if it's hidden somewhere, they'll find it and they'll just unlock it, and then they'll distribute hacks to other people to give them, you know, things. Like, what if there were dev-only items or donator-only items? They can just hack that stuff.
We talked about that as well.
It.
Like the gas. I know the only reason I took like Rocket League as an example is because I feel like this game resembles Rocket League like to a minor degree.
Absolutely.
With like not only the movement system but also like the cosmetics, and like it started out like not too like with a good start, then it died down, and then hopefully we can get the same Rocket League treatment where people see the Pro League and we kind of blow up. But you know,
I see it as Rocket League because it's a physics-based game.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a lot of skill that goes into it.
Exactly. I have the same feeling about it. But you know, they have these booster packs where, okay, you know, if this guy has this specific booster, he was a part in one of the alpha tournaments or something like that. You know, something that was given due to him being a good player or due to him being like a dev or something like that. That would be so insane.
Oh yeah. It gives you clout.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone loves clout.
People love flexing on other people.
Absolutely. No, I think that's definitely one of the better ways to add progression or incentivize like other things.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Okay.
Do we want to dive into the chat if you've seen any questions?
Sure. Let's take a gander.
There's not too much, I'd say. I saw someone talking about a day-night cycle. I know you and I have talked about this before, and that night cycling would be fucking horrendous.
Kind of, yeah. I'm not. See, this is where I would like have to learn a new skill to get lighting into the game. It's not impossible. Lighting has always been this thing that was like, oh, it'll kill performance. But like if you bake the lighting onto the maps, then it actually should be fine. The real problem is when you illuminate the light on the characters. Because that you can't bake lighting onto the characters because the characters move. Baking lighting onto something is something that's static. You know what I mean? Like you can bake lighting onto a building because the building's not going to move. You can't bake lighting onto a character because the character's always moving. He's animated. That's where you'd suffer a big performance blow. And I don't know how you'd go around that. But honestly, I mean, like that wouldn't affect everyone. Like you just make it an option. You know, you disable it.
Yeah.
You know, illuminating the character. Because I know my computer, I'm sure your computer, like we could probably get away with illuminating light on the character. You know, wait, what did I say? The character, not the computer. Like shooting a thunder spear, boom, fucking, there should be light on your, forearm or something.
Yeah.
We purposely disable that because it would kill performance. So having night maps, yeah, you need lights.
Yeah.
And you would need to bake those lights. It's possible, but not confirmed.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool though.
It would be work, but it would also be like it would be great additions. But it's just like, as you say, like with the current amount of people who has shitty PCs. Sorry to all you guys. Like it's not equal. But I mean, you know.
Rest in peace for anyone that plays on Potato.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah.
Nah, it's fine. We'll make it configurable. Like you can disable it.
Oh yeah, and disable the light, and then you just play in total darkness.
Yeah. Nah, I think it would be fine if you bake the lighting. But the real problem is illuminating light on the character.
Yeah.
That they're gonna want disabled. There's no way a Potato PC player is gonna play with the lighting on.
No, exactly. I know for myself that I purely like downgrade all of the detail settings. Like I don't have any anti-aliasing on or
Right.
VSync or anything, but that's purely because I want performance over
Yeah.
looks. Even though the maps
You're
still and the
disgusting.
characters still look stunning, like the way they look with this
Yeah.
cartoonish look.
It's alright. You don't have to lie.
No, actually, when I joined the game first time, I was like, bro, even though there's like squares everywhere, it's kind of pretty.
Yeah, because it's consistent.
Yeah,
That means
exactly.
we did the right thing. We our mind game worked.
So
You know,
now people are waiting for new maps since Irwin is so high tech.
yes. Yeah. Well, new maps. No offense to Cube. New maps add more to the game
Yeah.
than just in the current state. They add more to the game than just hey, here's a new head that we stuck on top of
Yeah.
the same rig. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we need new rigs. That way we can actually give the characters meaning. You know, give them skins,
Yeah.
hats. Yeah, I said hats again.
Hats. Oh, the TF2 hat is coming back. It's all coming back to me.
But yeah, as of right now, the maps are like the biggest like thing you can add that has like substantial value. You know what I mean? Other than like new mechanics, like
Yeah.
you could add rifles to the game, and like that's pretty substantial. But like, you know, Roark can only work on this game for so long. It's best to just assume that me and Q do a majority of the work. You
Yeah.
know, and that would be characters and maps.
Yeah, exactly. Chuba said, "What do you think about? What do you think is the best thing for? Wait, what? What do you think the best thing the community can do to help the game to grow right now? Exposure, e.g., exposure methods."
You asked that?
No, Chuba. Someone.
Oh,
yeah, a guy named
Chuba.
Chuba.
Okay, I was gonna say what?
Not, yeah, sorry, I'm sick.
What did he ask?
Ass microphone.
How to
Yeah, what the
expose the game?
community can do to expose the game.
Honestly, well, he's only asking that because he wants to support the game
Yes.
ultimately, right? Like
Yeah.
that's yeah. Ultimately, the only thing you could really do is just like spread the word. Like obviously, when we go live with the Ko-fi system, like the subscription service, obviously you subscribe, you know, you support the game, and then you spread the word to other people. You try to get YouTubers to play it. I know some guy tried to advertise the game to Critical, and Critical name dropped RAOT.
Oh.
FG. Yeah, he never got to play it though, which was depressing, but he name dropped it.
It was the
and
same
like,
with Node.
yeah, Node showed the game off in a trailer, and I think they saw there was no Titans, and they're like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, it's kind of
Or-
sad because I think they would have
or-
fun playing versus each other with it.
I think so. I don't actually mean that. I'm like memeing. I think the actual reason is because they just couldn't get the gang together.
Yeah.
You know, because like a game like this, you want a big LAN party. You don't want like 4 people. You want like a big group of people to play the game and show it off. You know,
Yeah.
in the best possible way. But yeah, I mean, you just gotta show it off. You gotta keep the communities clean. You know, because like toxic players will ruin the game. Hackers ruin games.
Yeah, true.
You know.
Like,
And there's not too much.
I know for a fact that I posted already like 2 or 3 comments on Node's new videos like, hey, you should try out Roarks Attack on Titan since you play so much Attack on Titan games. It is really
Yeah.
fun and interactive gameplay. Like, you know, give him all of this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking Rourke in the chat.
Yeah.
He's right though.
We
Be
shouldn't be
supportive
pop
to new players. Pub stomping is the ultimate way to ruin a new player's view on the game.
Yeah.
We talk about this. I'm always scared whenever the game blows up. Like Globku played the game,
Yeah.
which was crazy because I actually follow Globku.
Oh.
Yeah, and he brought in a new wave of people, and you got to assume that a good amount of them got pub stomped.
Yeah, they did.
And just stopped playing the game, you know, and that actually hurts the game's demographic. So it's tricky because it's like we can't tell you stop playing the game, and we also can't tell you to lose on purpose. You know what I mean? But it is something to be mindful of. I wish when people spread the news about this game, I wish they would help them ease into it.
Yeah.
Like if you understand the state of the game, it's easier to get into. Like whenever I tell people about this game, I tell them straight up, like, listen, this game is unlike anything you've ever played. There is a massive amount of skill, right? That, or rather, there's new skills that you didn't think you needed to know until you played this game. This isn't like a shooter where you just pick it up and like you're good at all shooters. You have to understand the movement, and it takes time to actually learn how to play this game. And if you don't properly set someone up, you know, and like let them know that, they're gonna go into it and they're gonna be like, "Oh, this game is shit. What is this control scheme? Oh my god, I'm getting dicked on." You know what I mean? And they're gonna hate it. So you gotta keep expectations in check.
A funny story actually was when I initially picked this game up. I've been following the game for like, let's say about 1 year before before launch, and I was like looking forward to it because I've seen all of the other Attack on Titan games. I was like really disappointed. Because it didn't feel fluid and it didn't like feel good, like it didn't look good. It might be like pleasing for the eye, but the gameplay looked dull and not fun at all. So when this game initially got launched, I hopped instantly. I was like, okay, this is probably gonna take some fucked up controls, so I'm gonna watch the tutorials. I watched the tutorials. I went into a game. I spent 20 minutes getting my ass beaten up like a little, I don't know even what, and I literally raged so fucking hard that I was about to quit the game and uninstall it. I quit I went out of the game. I went in, opened up, I cracked open a cold one. I know it's not the right way to do it, but then I sat down and I just like started working on the mobility, and then I got my first kill and I was so relieved.
Yeah, I can't. Unfortunately, like I didn't really get that feeling of, oh, my first kill, because like I've been playing for like 4 years and like the game hasn't changed, other than like Killing Titans. The game hasn't like changed too much control wise, right? In the past 4 years, other than like the bursting. Like the bursting is probably the biggest thing changed in this version of the game compared to the old version of the game. But I felt like at home. It wasn't difficult for me to like go in and like kill someone. But whenever someone new picks up the game, man, I love watching those videos where they're just like, "Oh, I did it!" Oh! You know what I mean? Like they get so ecstatic because they finally killed someone. Because it's not an easy task. It's not like you push W to walk forward and then just ADS and boop, you know, kill someone. There's way more steps involved. And the attacking in this game is unlike any other game. It's push one button to ready your attack, then hold down another one to charge the attack, you know, and you could like bend, you could like aim the attack a little bit, and then like you could burst to like enhance the attack in some way.
Exactly.
And most people don't forward burst an attack when they pick swords. They're just like, okay, lunge, and then they get like this, they get this shitty lunge off.
And they're like, whoa, I didn't go anywhere. How do you guys go so fast? And we're like, we're just extending. Yo, what?
Exactly. Exactly. There's like little things you can learn to increase the odds of killing people.
But yeah, that was like that experience, my single experience. Like you imagine, like I was that close of just quitting the game entirely due to the system and the skills curve being so high. Like that was also the initial like reason why I started making, you know,
it's tough.
Guides.
It's a trial by fire.
Yeah, it is literally so hard.
It's the trial of the grasses. It's a Witcher reference. Only the strong will survive.
Exactly.
You'll pick up the game, and many of you will not stay around. You know,
it is literally the survey corps you're signing up to.
Actually though. But another thing I really recommend people do, like when you show other people this game, tell them it's not a good idea to just go straight into deathmatch. Like Globku made a really good point in this video. Playing training dummies and more importantly the racing modes, those are so good for new players to just like pick up and understand the mechanics. Because then sure, they're dying or they're losing, but it's not to another player. Like players will make you want to smash your keyboard for whatever reason, but losing in racing is just different. When you lose in racing, you're actually gaining experience, and it's not as rage-inducing because you're not getting killed by a player.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's how I see it, at least. It's perfect practice. And then eventually, once you learn how to fly, it's like ice skating. I say this all the time. You have to learn how to skate. If you want to play hockey, you got to learn how to skate before you can like shoot a puck properly. You have to learn how to fly before you can attack people. And most people just go straight into deathmatch, and then they get whooped.
I
So
usually
don't do that.
I usually
Tell
say
people to do other things.
I usually say the same thing. It's I just use math as a as an example because people hate fucking math, and I always say like,
Yeah.
why do you hate math? You want to make you want to do something to an equation. Well, all you gotta learn is like addition, subtraction, divide, and what is the last thing? Multiplication. Then you can literally do like almost everything in math. It's just the core steps that you need before you can like literally do all the like advanced ones.
Yeah, and then you start dividing by 0.
Yeah, exactly, and then everything fucking turns into a black hole. Dividing by 0 is literally picking Thunderspear in deathmatch right now. That is a mess.
Yikes. Unless it's Utgard.
Yeah, true. Everyone should do that.
Oh man. All right. Anything else?
No, I mean I kind of ran through all of my questions and
Okay.
And
any other questions in chat that anyone has?
Someone
Can Connie get a bulge? No.
Wait, no, that's such a
new
dumb
rig,
question.
new sex appeal slider.
Yeah, you get bounce mechanics on girls and boys, of course.
What?
Yeah, jiggle physics.
physics.
Yeah, I don't know why I call it bounce mechanics, but that's gonna stay.
You bounce off other players, but
Yeah.
only if they're the opposite sex.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Yeah. Someone said that it would be insane that if we could have a high tier lobbies, and it was named high tier lobbies, so new players wouldn't like join and think
That would be cool.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I think that's something that's like reasonably like fair.
Yeah.
I don't see why we can't add some kind of. I mean, like you could put it in the name. You know what I mean? Like the title of the server in brackets, just like experts only or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd probably recommend doing that if you're playing and all of you guys are like comp players, just so that no noobs join and get pup stomped.
We actually did that once in a while. We gather up like a lot of good. If we see like, we're in Brewski's lobby right now, and that's like 27-4 or something, where everyone is allowed into. And if we see that there are like at least 6 or like 5 really good players in there, where everyone is like, okay, we're going into a private server now.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah, because it also opens up because we can always play with each other, and this just opens up more slots for the non-headless servers that requires players. Because as much as I really wanna like host a lobby as well, but my internet does not agree with that. So sadly, no, it's actually my router. But yeah, we just open up like spots for other players to join, and then we also like create our own little safe haven where we can train against each other.
Yeah, that's good. That's better for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Danny, Danny or L Danny?
Yeah, I think it's L Danny.
Il Danny with the hottest new track. I don't know if you answered it, but what were your thoughts on non-canon maps, like the mountains one Tropic proposed? Well, that one was semi-canon.
Yeah.
Because it is based off of the filler. I mean, what? That wasn't filler.
It was super much filler.
Yeah. I mean, I like that idea for a map, but I also really like the idea of more arena-styled maps. It's actually something I wanted to talk about, so thank you for reminding me. The arena, like aesthetically, I think a lot of people really like the look of arena. They just hate the way it's played. Too much verticality, too symmetrical, too small. And like those are all really good points. What I want to do, I wanted to like poll this, what I want to do is like make arena maps where they're not even like encased in an arena. Have you ever played Final Fantasy Tactics?
Yeah.
Or heard. Okay, so like in Tactics, there's like levels where you're literally just playing on a floating plane.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And like I would love to just do something like that where it's like maybe it's rectangular, maybe it's square, I don't know. But it's the arena aesthetic, right? That like Tron aesthetic with all the vibrant colors. And Yeah, kind of like Smash style maps, sort of. Except this is played in like third person. But like yeah, like you would tell where the barrier is because obviously you can see the end of the map. You know what I mean? Like you don't need walls, you don't need it to be encased inside of something. It could just be a floating island. But what's important is the actual layout of the arena, right? Just cubes protruding up. I don't know, just coming up with crazy shapes that only can work on arena style maps. Because once you decide, okay, time to work on an arena style map, you're not restricted in any capacity. Like the possibilities are limitless, especially if you get the dynamic tools where now, oh, touching this kills you, or this platform moves. Like there are so many potential maps you could make, and most importantly, they are so easy to make. I can bang out a decent arena map like within a month, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
$200 arena map.
No, we're not pulling a cube. Like we said in the announcement, from this point onwards, it didn't go live yet, but when it goes live from that point onwards, really that the best way to support us is to just donate on Ko-fi, because once you donate and we reach enough funds, we can distribute it and we can figure out, okay, let's work on this or let's work on that. It's not like set in stone. It's not like, okay, we've reached $200, now it's time to work on this thing. We don't want to do this bounty system where it's like, hey, $200, I'll do Historia. Like, no, we just want income, and then we decide what gets worked on, right?
Yeah, it's
maybe there's a lot, right? Like it's kind of like a bank. It's like a reserve, right? Yes, Infinium Devstreams will be part of the subscription. Oh boy, can't wait to stream all my work. And it's literally just me sitting there thinking and banging my head against the desk for like 2 hours.
It's just you yeeting a map after map after map.
Yeah, it's just me deleting the entire thing. But no, so it's basically just like a reserve, and like in that reserve we figure out the best way to distribute and figure out like what gets worked on. And maybe we have a really poor month. So because we have a poor month, we can't really justify working on Liberio, but maybe we could justify working on an arena map. That's why we want to do the roadmap. It's not good to do $200 for this one thing,
exactly.
because that like undersells
basically
things.
like working on stuff that makes sense to work on. Like it wouldn't make sense to work on a new character if we know that we really need a new rig. So working on new maps or overhauling the class system or doing something specific that would actually change the game like to the better is like a better version. And then like you see the donations going up, but you don't say $200-$500 we do this. You rather say we've started doing this, but due to the immense support, we've actually also taken in this.
Yeah, if there's enough money like in the reserves, we can absolutely do that. Obviously certain things have priority because you need to do one thing before you can do another thing. Me, I'm a bit more flexible because it doesn't matter like what I do, but for Cube, he basically has to do the rigs first, so that's a lot of work. Oh man, and it's pretty affordable. Wouldn't you rather have a bunch of people donate like $5, $10 a month, rather than, hey, it's the same 3 guys that donated $100 for some reason. Like,
exactly.
Stop giving us this much. We'd rather have multiple people donate small amounts as opposed to the same 3 guys donating $50 every single time.
Exactly. I took that up on my last live stream as well, where I said like if half the Discord server bounced in with like $2 each, it would be like $30,000, and it would be more than enough. Like it's only half, even like let's say 1/4 brought in $2, it would be like a little less than like 7,000, something like that. $7,000.
Yeah,
that's a lot of
insane.
money.
That's great. We definitely like. I'm not even like looking to make an actual like wage per se. Like a minimum wage job here where I live. I don't know. It varies, but like I'd probably make maybe 2-3 grand a month on like a minimum wage job here, and like I'm not even looking for that.
No,
You know,
exactly.
just like something to justify doing nothing with my life.
Exactly.
Not that I'm doing nothing. We're trying to build experience here so that in the future, boom, we can take it somewhere.
That also
But
like leads back to the players, because they also feel like, okay, I've been playing this for like now a month, but I'm not getting anything, you know, progression or something like that. I'm not getting anything,
yeah,
so I need some justification for what I'm doing, that it actually makes sense.
exactly. Yeah, I really hope. I hope the subscriptions, like the things that we offer for the subscription, are worth it. It's hard because we had to like think like we can't do a Patreon where it's like, okay, we have to give you something like physically. You know what I
OnlyFans.
mean? Yeah. Oh my God, Moose OnlyFans. So this was like the best thing we could think of. I think it's pretty good because we're really gonna try to get the community, like the donators or the supporters rather, involved more. You know, in voting and dev streams and stuff. REOT merch question mark.
Oh.
I wish. That's more complicated. I would kill for a sweater. Dude, you know how sick that would be?
Yeah.
REOT hoodie?
I mean,
Hell yeah.
I already have a 139 hoodie, and
I saw that.
I can say that, like, if you find a real place to buy them, bro, you can get some nice ass hoodies.
Dude. Yeah, I'm low key kind of jealous.
But get that Roark hoodie.
Yeah, no, that'd be great because then we can totally justify working on every map rework and skins and Kenny.
Oh, Kenny.
All I have to do is say Kenny and everyone goes fucking wild.
Everyone gets a hard on.
Yeah,
Especially one player. There's one player amongst the people who got like super hard on every time the name popped up. But
dude,
yeah,
we add hats to the game. Boom.
Yeah.
Kenny hat. You ever wanted to see Levi with a Kenny hat? Look no further.
Now you can get it. It's basically Kenny but young.
Yeah.
Now that you said like arena maps, you know, when I saw the arena maps and when we talk arena maps like normally or casually together, I always think about, because I'm that old school shooter type of guy. I always think about, you know, Quake, Unreal Tournament, Splitgate, if you know that. You know, those kind of fast-paced mobility games where you are enclosed on these small arenas and it's like arena-based matchmaking. It's really like what I think when you say arena map.
That's why I really think the arena maps could work really well for this game. Just because there's no limit to what you can do. I can make cubes float in the sky and it doesn't have to make sense. It's just whatever works best for gameplay. They're easy. They're good for gameplay. You know.
Now that we actually say that you can make whatever with arena, like floating cubes and stuff like that. Oh, connection lost.
Did the stream go down?
No, there's just a connection lost.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, now that you say that you can make cubes fly and all of that, I was actually thinking, so what about, like, this is just a map idea I'm throwing out into the middle of it. You can take it or leave it as you want.
Go ahead. Throw as many map ideas as you want.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, a stadium kind of map, you know, where... Yeah, I know it sounds kind of weird, but, you know... No. You know where I'm going with it.
What, like a fucking gladiator, like Rome,
yeah, exactly.
Coliseum?
Where it's like built as a battleground for these like this equipment you have, where it's like always keen for either Thunder Spear, APG, or ODM, and it's like with like viewers, or it's inside of a cage or some weird shit like that. You know, something along that line. That would actually be kind of nice.
That reminds me of a really fun custom game I used to play in Halo. I think it was called Gladiator, but then there was also a variant called Rochambeau. And how it would play, it played in like a circular arena, like a coliseum almost. And you'd spawn in these, you know, spawn tubes, these spawn rooms, and you'd get random weapons. And it was totally random. You just spawn, get a random weapon, and it would be like elimination because you'd only have one life per round, and you'd see whoever wins the round. That could be cool. That's a mode though, right? Like that's not up to me, but like it could be cool to work on a map that's specifically designed for a certain mode. Yeah. Right.
And maps that is like specifically designed to like, okay, we have like Mr. Moose, the map machine, has
Uh,
specifically placed this cube floating in the air for you to go this way and for you to do this with it. You know, like something like that. You know,
yeah,
that it
yeah,
all
absolutely.
speaks to your kind of like. Sometimes I go through city, like
Hmm.
the lower part of the city where around Gansuwall, and I'm thinking, bro, I really need some like some high places to hook to. But a
Yeah,
map that is created with the intention of here, we felt that we needed something high here, so we just added a floating cube.
yeah, yeah. Um, you could do that.
Yeah.
And yes, yes, Rourke, you did just hear
Yeah.
moose.
Moose.
I want to kill him. Yeah. Well, I mentioned before the potential tool that I would love to have to make the maps more dynamic, like being able to make objects move,
Yeah.
making objects kill players on touch. That tool would work really well in arena style maps. And we also talked before about how to make the game more fun for casuals, um, and not just like the pro scene. Having like custom built maps for custom games could also be really cool. Like we used to have Dodge Blade in the game,
Oh yeah.
um, which was funny. That's a pretty easy like option you can just tick off in the menu where it's like, oh, throwing blades only. And now you play throwing blades only. Yeah, you can do it on any map, but maybe you want to do it on like an arena style map where it's like designed for, Dodge Blade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like now casuals have like this mini game that they can play where it's literally just dodge blade or maybe dodge spear, and it's played on this map that's just super interactive and like shit moves around. Maybe gas is disabled.
Hmm.
It's just fun. It's just another way to play the game, and it adds more replayability to the game. I remember seeing Brewski and Game Fox play like Nazi zombies in the game.
Oh yeah.
um that was cool. More options to do custom games like that would be great. And then again, with the supporters, being that they're so close to the developers, they could pitch ideas for arena style maps, for mini game style
Yeah.
maps, that I can like hook up and throw into the game specifically for certain custom games.
Yeah.
That's, more reason to donate.
Exactly. So there's
Yeah.
more options. Oh, I said the O word for in front of Roark.
Uh-oh.
Sheesh.
Can't say options.
Yeah, no.
But
He hates that.
yeah, that'd be cool. I love the idea of mini games.
But yeah, there there
Imagine
are there are so
Fall
like
Guys.
yeah, Fall Guys.
Well,
But
Fall Guys in REOT.
but yeah, there's actually so many like possibilities. Also, like now that mentioned the arena map, like
Yeah,
also non-canon maps, like just for fun. Uh,
yeah,
but it could still work as a competitive map and like some
yeah.
not canon, but still a game that would work with deathmatch and all of those stuff.
In theory, you would think the arena style maps are actually perfect for competitive
Yeah.
play, just because they'd be symmetrical. They just need to be built the right way.
Yeah, exactly. I
I
think.
built the arena specifically because it was meant to be the quintessential 1v1 map,
Oh.
and that's all it was meant to be. But yeah, naturally, people tried playing it with like 5v5, and yeah, obviously it's shit.
It's not good. Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
Then I could actually see
yeah,
it work definitely like as a 1v1 map. That would be
yeah.
nice.
You gotta have that one super small map in the game.
Yeah.
Utgard was ultimately gonna be the 1v1 map, but obviously didn't pan out that way.
Nah. All right.
Slava would be another good 1v1 map,
Yeah,
but
King's Palace. Oh.
and King's Palace as well. Oh man, I really want to work on King's Palace.
Yeah. I really put you on something there, huh?
Yeah,
That's stuck.
like thinking about it, it'd be so cool just to
Yeah.
have like a large interior. There's tons of room, like there's reference there too.
Exactly.
It's possible.
I
Doable.
just knew as soon as I saw it, I was like, bro, that would make a perfect 1v1 map.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be like 1 versus 1. Like it could be the same size as Utgard
Yeah,
right
most
now,
definitely.
but the only difference is it's not fucking Utgard
Yeah.
because like there'll be cover, Yeah, it's a good idea for a map.
If you ever do remove Utgard,
Yeah.
add like a small like glass frame of a mini model of Utgard in King's Palace,
Oh
just
my
just as a
god.
memory.
Yeah. No, I don't think we'll ever remove
Nah, it
Utgard,
was just
but
merely for fun,
if if I were to rework Utgard, the tower would have to go at like the center of the map.
Yeah.
You know, if the tower is at the center of the map, that changes things.
Exactly.
You know, there's ways you could do it.
It
I
brings
would
weight to
probably
the game, to the map. I think.
it brings a sense of balance because
Yeah.
you won't spawn in the tower and get this massive advantage. And personally, I don't mind that the center of the map is actually dead space as long as the tower is the center of the map.
Yeah.
There needs to be options around the tower, right? That give you flanking routes. Like maybe you want to get to the tower, but rather than go through the front, you take one of the flanking routes and sneak in from the back. I don't know. There's ways, and clips and shit. Keep in mind when I say rework, these are basically just like remakes.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
like they're not going to be a one-to-one just like rework. They're going to be like a complete like remake of the map, like
Yeah.
new meshes,
New
new
assets.
layout, new So don't look at the current Utgard and be like, yeah, even if you made the forest outside playable, it'd still be shit. Like, no, like no, that's not how I would do it.
Nah, every time I know that like I've heard your process of doing maps, and every time you say anything about any map, like when we were talking back in the day on the official about changing city and being like letting Liberio be the official city map, I was being
Yeah,
like, okay, yeah, then he's gonna like yeet all of it. So I went in and looked at Liberio map pictures, and I was like, yeah, it could work, and I could like kind of see it for me. And every time you mention anything about reworking or like touching other maps, I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be a total rework. Let's see how this will go.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You can't just rework the current city into Liberio. The
Nah.
biggest difference between the current city and Liberio is going to be one, the size of Liberio is probably going to be a little bigger,
Yeah.
probably. The current city map is the biggest map in the game, and a lot of people like the big maps. You can't go too big because then you'll never find each other. But
Yeah.
like we said earlier in the interview, being able to section off parts of the map, is a great thing to have.
Yeah.
But anyway, Liberio, aside from its size, would have districts that make it feel unique. The
Yeah.
current city map, it's the same building like everywhere you go, basically. But whereas Liberio, there would be districts where there's like an industrial district. Then there's like the internment zone that would probably be in the center of the map. It's like walled off, but outside of that is
Yeah.
like, the city, where there's like nicer
Tropic
looking
playing
buildings,
out of
and
mind.
it's flat.
Yeah.
There's almost no elevation. The current city, there's elevation because it sits on a hill in the center.
Yeah. Exactly.
If I were to rework the current city map, not Liberio, just another city map, I'd lean more into Trost. Like I'd want the city to be on an incline.
Yeah.
So that like Trost HQ is at like the top, like raise it even more. And then there's like maybe 3 tiers of level, whereas like Liberio is super flat.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's already different enough. Just the districts and how flat the map is.
Yeah.
It's another city map, but it's different enough.
Yeah. Also, like we see Shiganshina is also like this levelation of like we have.
Shiganshina is trickier
Yeah.
because it
Exactly.
is basically Trost, but it's got poorer wooden houses.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's it.
It's funny how you say that.
Also canals.
Oh yeah, canals with water
Canals?
physics,
Question mark?
drowning.
With water physics? Yeah, drowning.
I have this idea that the only reason that there is not water and there is not a canal, I was actually really disappointed when I saw it first. I was like, okay, that they couldn't add the canal, but it's fine. But I have an idea or a theory that the reason there's no water physics and no canals is basically because the cloak physics fucked up as well, and it kind of like reassembles each other, with the floaty physics. And
Yeah.
then you were like, can't be arsed to add like drowning effects, whatever.
It's honestly because there was so much work on Rourke's plate
Yeah.
that adding water physics is just why would you even
Yeah.
add that, I experimented with it at first, like I wanted to add a canal. And I would just put like a plane that was like blue as like a placeholder. But like honestly, it eats up a lot of the map, and at the time we didn't really know what sizes work, and I thought that it actually eliminated too much of the map.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very
so
huge.
so I ditched it. Yeah, I ditched it because of that. And then of course would need to add a kill barrier, or like, or can you swim, or how does it work? Do you stand on the water like Jesus? Like, how does it work? So it's just easier to just not even,
Also
you
because it's
know,
so
focus on it.
fast-paced game. Like, what the fuck
Yeah,
happens when you hit the water?
yeah. I mean, personally, I think it should just kill you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Ideally, you lower it enough to the point where it's not super tedious to fly above the water, because obviously they have like those bridges, they have like those little
Yeah.
tower things and bridges, and like I want people to like fly under the canal, like the bridge,
Yeah,
and
they even have these like belt-driven boats where there's
yes,
like this
oh,
like
and
whole like a whole big ass like
yes, and
kind
as
of like
XP
guide
just
in the
said, the
middle.
boats move.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we had a tool that allowed us to move objects, yeah, I would totally make a boat that literally just goes forward and back. And now that sets up a potential flank where like you can hide behind like this boat and like ride it into the back of the map without anyone seeing you.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. Yeah,
Oh.
so there's ways to go about it. It just, when we were doing it, no.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny that
But
you
now it's different.
mentioned that all this like most of the assets and the like buildings and city is the same, but you still like I didn't really notice it at first because I don't really look that much into detail on the maps, but you probably see it. It's funny how you still create this like disparity or this like difference in like the city where you get these kind of four quadrants where you have like where as we call slums, but it's more like villa, what you call it, and then you
Yeah.
have like the church as we call it and jail,
Hmm.
and then the HQ.
Fucking jail? What?
Yeah, jail. I don't know why, but it just stuck.
Okay.
And then you have
Okay.
like the upper corner with park and like we call it street and sandwich and alley and stuff like that. But it's all the same, mostly the same, but it still creates this like difference the way you put it up.
Yeah.
It's really insane, mate. I like
Thank you. I'm still trying to get over the fucking jail call out.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
did you say sandwich?
Yeah, okay, so just for the sake of you, I'm gonna give you like a roundabout of like why we call different things stuff.
Okay.
So this is called church
Yeah.
because it looks like a church from here.
Sure. Yeah.
And
I could see that.
I noticed when I rewatched the anime that I can see that it is the barracks or whatever. What did you call it again?
Government building.
Yeah,
But
government
yeah,
building.
barracks. Yeah.
Yeah, it is like the barracks or where the soldiers are or where they have their supplies. And this just has like a jailish attitude to it, It's very gray, it's very bulky. It looks like a place that would be locked down.
Oh, this part. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the other buildings.
No, this is
Like
jail.
yeah. Oh, I could picture this being jail. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have HQ, or as everyone else calls it, castle.
Castile.
Yeah, castle.
Oh, I mean, well, castle. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I'm making fun of your accent.
Yeah, I'm fucking European. And then plaza in the middle. But I can see why you
Yeah.
call this HQ, as also from the anime, from the
It's just
rewatch.
quicker.
Yeah.
Quicker to say HQ.
And it's also where like people gather up when there's like an emergency happening and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have like the good
What
old
the fuck is sandwich?
sandwich is this
Yeah,
over
please.
here. So in the beginning we had this thing called street,
Okay.
and then we had this one called alleyway or alley.
Yeah. Why is
And
this
now
alley?
we have
Okay.
created this thing which looks like a sandwich.
What?
Yeah, because
Can I ask why alley is not the fucking alley that's
Yeah.
in between the two
I
streets?
have
Why is
I have no clue, but this looks like a piece of bread. This looks like a piece of bread, and then you have the middle part, so it's like sandwich.
Roark, are you watching this shit?
And then you have like people get very confused about this one. We call this one bridge because it's a
Okay.
bridge. And then people ask, but what is this then? And we say simply we call this underground.
Just call that tunnel.
Yeah, but it's like when you make map names, it's like
Man.
pressuring to it. And then everyone was agreeing on this being slums because it looks like high density
Yeah.
area with like low effort put into it.
Wow. Okay.
No, not low
Thanks.
effort, but like it's very high density.
Yeah, sure.
And then I
Alright.
really pressured for this one because
Gamers are just a
it's
different breed.
yeah, because this is like slummy area. I really
Yeah.
pressured for this one to be called rat, this specific area.
Rat.
Yeah, because it's under like it looks like it's under like the sewer system or some stupid shit like that.
It's just a copy paste of the same thing from Bridge, but okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then you have like the dumb callouts. This is called slip.
Slip.
Yeah, because you can slip through here. That was literally the thought behind it.
Wow. That is pretty dumb. Congratulations.
Thanks. And then
I'm sorry for everyone watching. He's just teaching old Boomer Moose the fucking.
But the
callouts.
reason we called this one red was basically because a lot of times we had people refueling here and we didn't know what to say, like under tunnel, under whatever. So we just called it red. Same with these two buildings here. These are called double for us because it's two buildings crossing together. And people then we say like one refueling double, so we know it's here. So yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate the tour of my own map.
Next week, same time, we will go through training
No,
forest.
that's okay. All right.
All right.
Well, is there any other questions in the chat, or we gooch?
I think we kind of got through them all.
Hey, well, you gotta wait for them to say something.
I feel like they should have said something while we spoke, but we can say, oh yeah, there. Why did you not put any weapon changes in the slums? What?
Fuck does that mean?
What are you talking about? What is Sorvet on right now?
I don't know. I think he's on that good stuff.
Yeah.
When is the underground map? I don't know if you're here. We did mention this like in the beginning, but yeah, it could be anywhere from tomorrow to fucking December. It could be the next week. It could be the week after that. It could be in a month. It could be in 2 months. I don't know.
Oh.
But as soon as possible.
Now I know what they're asking about.
Oh,
it's
weapon
slums.
changing
Yeah.
slums. Yeah. Because Moose is stupid. I almost used the R word. He's very stupid. And yeah, he didn't think of that for some strange reason.
So next update,
Oopsies.
there will be a weapon change in slums.
Sure.
Sure. $200.
Why not? No.
$200 to plop down an asset.
Easy. I'm gonna need a noose in 2 seconds. Also, ass all the way. Juba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ass all the way. We're like cultured men.
Exactly. I mean, don't discredit like feet, but
No, you just
and thighs
didn't.
and thighs.
Thighs is a whole nother religion. Holy shit, that's
I don't know.
That's something special. All right.
And hold on, wait, no, I'm done.
Yeah, green screen. Little Trike keeps asking about green screen elimination mode when, but that's the Roarks department, right?
Wasted thighs. Green screen elimination. Yeah, that is on Rourke.
Yeah.
That is him deciding whether he wants to check off or on something, and I think we should just not do that.
Yeah, it's options, and he hate that word.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's not true. Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that. That's on Rourke. For the love of God, end the stream before you. Fuck you.
For the love of God, end the stream before he keeps talking.
Hey man, it's true.
Yeah.
It's on you. You flip the switch and elimination works on green screen.
Yeah, true.
That doesn't mean it's a good idea. There's a reason it's disabled.
We already have free roam where we can like put more teams, so like why not elimination?
Oh my god. You guys kill me.
Yeah. Alright. I think
we're
about rounding like 2 hours and 45 minutes, so I think we're gonna end it here.
Okay.
For the sake of everyone's sanity and your own.
Yeah, please.
Anywho.
I'm kidding. I love all of you.
Yeah, I know that I can speak for the whole community and say that we also love you guys. Like, thank you so much for the game and for still being here. We literally thought you all would be like, here's your game, yeet, we're out of here.
Well.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah. Nah,
Everyone
that's
has
not
their
true.
reasons.
We didn't think the game would blow up. It's not that we were like, here's the game, all right, we're out.
Yeah.
You know, we thought the game would release and it wouldn't have a following, so we wouldn't have to support it.
Yeah.
But it does have a following, so that's why, and people have donated, which is why we've gotten to the point where we can do this subscription service, and most importantly, we can justify doing the next update, like the slums update and the balance update is purely because people have donated. You know what I mean? The donations have brought us to the point of slums and balance, and the subscription service for future content. You know, no one could have donated. Imagine if no one donated.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here right now.
Exactly.
I mean, the proceeds really what started it, but yeah. So
And-
thank you.
And now
to
it's
everyone.
now it's just about spreading the word about the game. Like I'm doing my
Yeah.
best to do it, but it's really tough with like YouTube's algorithm and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tricky. You really need to get a couple of 100,000 subscriber YouTubers. You know, like you don't want to go for the big boys. Just a couple YouTubers like Globku.
Yeah,
a couple Globkus that would go a long way. You know?
Roark, pick up the bone. Call some people.
Oh, I thought you said bone.
Yeah, don't you know that? Pick up the bone. It's like the telephone.
Bone. What?
Yeah.
Is that European or something?
Yeah, I am.
I-
Okay, but yeah, also you need to do some to do some voiceover work on we need that update to have like an official video on it on the official YouTube channel. That would bring attention to it, I think.
yeah, I wish. That's not Rourke. That's not me. Rourke hates my voice.
No, we love it.
Rourke hates me.
We love it.
I'd love to get voice acting in the game, but alas, Rourke does not like me and other voice actors.
Oh,
With too cringe, he says.
Moose giving voice lines for Historia. I would love this. I love that literally.
Enemy spotted.
Wait, the Historia Moose announcer pack for
Oh
only
my
20 bucks.
Yeah, no. Oh god. Yeah, and then I get royalties. Everyone just buys my announcer pack. Boom. I'm set for life. And by set for life, I mean like 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. Until next update. Rock, I come
Yeah.
to work now.
Oh man.
All right.
Nah, I think having a what is it? Like VGS, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Like call outs and stuff. That'd be cool. I don't think the way to do it is to give voices to every character. At least not at the start. It's better to just like like what Smite does, just have an announcer pack and then just like make call outs. But the problem with that is everyone would spam it and they wouldn't use it properly. So
The only small thing you could really do is give them, grunting and like wimping sounds whenever they get killed or they do something
they like
mobility wise.
lunge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They go like
Yeah. Yeah, I tried that, and it's fucking cringe.
Yeah,
So,
I had the feeling.
yeah. It's bad.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I
Let's-
could really tell you want me out of here. So
No, it's just like I think we're about to hit the landing animation voice line demo.
yeah, when you land on the ground, it's like
You're like fuck.
my knees.
but no, I don't want you out of here. We could sit here for hours upon hours and speak, if you want.
Good, but I have some plans that I must attend to.
You also have
Halal-
a map
Halal
you
food
need to.
anime to watch. What?
What?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Commitment to life.
No-
I
no-
mean,
no
sub
anime.
project.
No anime before Slum City is
Right.
gone.
That's right. I do have to do that. All right. Well,
Yeah.
fair.
Let's
Fair, okay.
let's round it up. Let's give a great applause for Moose. Moose.
Hey,
Thank you
let's go,
so much
Moose.
for coming. It was so fucking amazing having you.
Thank you. It was fun being here.
Yeah, I think people
And
got
I-
their answers.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Talked for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, holy damn.
God, I can't wait to get yelled at by Rourke later.
Why the
You
fuck did
said
you spoil?
I don't know. We'll see.
and you come in like, well, I earned $200 for a refill station, so
Yeah. Well, Dude, oh man, Roark did not like that.
No,
Roark did not like that. I mean,
understandable.
like we gotta stop doing that.
Yeah.
Gotta stop doing that.
It's all about for Cube, that right there, he was like, it's impossible, and we just
He likes to
gripped it up.
work.
Yeah.
He likes to work. He will do anything for a Snickers bar.
Oh my
Like,
God.
oh, poor Cube.
It's
No,
amazing.
he deserves more. So we need to like stop doing that. Like the bounty system just doesn't work in the
No,
long run.
It
You
doesn't.
know,
It does.
it's much better to do what we're planning to do. It all comes down to the people that filled out that survey and see if they can really put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
Because the survey was revealed, right? Didn't Rourke reveal it?
Yeah, it was revealed.
Okay, cool. Because there was quite a bit of people that actually said, "Yeah, I would subscribe.
Yeah.
I would sign up for something like that."
Fair.
That's the only reason why we're doing it.
I think
because the
I think it
survey
was like,
suggested-
how many people signed up to it? Was it like 1,700
Dude, I
or
think
was
there
it
were
like
like
7,000?
no, I think it was like 1,200
Oh, 1,200.
completed, something like that.
And then it was like
At-
36% would actually like to donate to it.
Yeah, like there was like 900 something people that said they would donate for like $5. You know what I mean? Which is like, okay, you're not gonna get 900 people. You're gonna get like a percentage of that, but we'll see how many people actually, put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, I want to work on this game.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Every dev so far has literally said, I want to work on this game. And I also understand why. It's a fucking amazing game. It's so unique to any other game. And it actually puts the players before the devs and the earnings. I know, like, you need some sort of, like, a sustainable earning to keep on going. But, when I look at AAA games, like, the past 2-3 years, I've been disappointed, like, beyond. Like,
Yeah.
it's so
No, I
insane.
feel that. I think a lot of the people playing this game share that opinion. I know that's one of the reasons why I came here in the very beginning. Because we don't like the way AAA studios handle their games. They're not made with love.
Yeah,
Ugh.
exactly. It's literally
yeah.
microtransactions, and here is a re-sleeve of yesterday's game.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I like working on this game just because, like, well, it's the first game I've ever worked on. Someone asked before, I forgot to answer this, if I have experience in, like, other games. And no, I immediately worked on this game, and I've only worked on this game so far. I've actually really only been a developer for, like, a year and a half now, I guess. Year and, like, 3 months. So, this project is what gives me experience. So the more I work on it, the more experience I get, and I could work on other stuff. But ideally, I get to just work on this.
Yeah.
And until the inevitable rapture occurs.
Let's hope that
Whenever-
Rapture is fucking some,
In the
like,
future.
node making a video, and then the Rapture comes.
No, well, node making a video would prevent the rapture. The rapture is like, we're all getting sucked away from the project.
Oh,
and moving
yeah,
on.
I was talking about Rapture as in, like, it fucking... Oh, yeah, that's more like an eruption. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, no, I want to work on this as long as I can.
And I want to play
But you're
the
right.
game as long as I can.
Oh, it's so sweet. You guys hear that? Oh my god.
Please fix and add things. I want to play.
Yeah. Yeah. But all right.
Yeah.
Thank you all for having me, and by all I mean Tropic. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you for coming. I mean, that was insane. That was so fun. I had great times.
Oh, thanks. That's the first time someone's ever thanked me for coming.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Hey. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I'll hit you up after I ended this, and yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
See you later, my man.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wait, do I like hang up or do you
Yeah,
just
no,
like...
just you can just stay here. I'm just gonna mute you, and then I'm gonna close down the window from you. So
It would be kinda
goodbye.
funny if I just said goodbye.
Yeah.
Haha, so he thought though.
That was so funny. All right, let's put a mute on this guy before he becomes too funny to listen to. So yeah, there you have it, guys, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This was the QnA Devstream with Moosey Woozy, Moo Woos, as we know him, the map machine, the creator himself of the beloved 27-4 city maps you see everywhere. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a fun time. I hope you you got all of your questions answered. I hope that that you had fun. We definitely had. I know that Moose had. I think he had definitely. Like, I mean, he sounded like he had fun, right? Come on. Yeah, I had fun at least. But all great things need to have an end, and this is the one for us. So I will thank you all for coming. I will thank everyone for supporting this game. Remember to go onto the Ko-Fi and have a look, be on the lookout for any further updates on the supporter system going live, hopefully soon, so we can get this game running. We really need to get this game going. You hear the devs, they say week after week, we want to work on this game. We say we want to play this game. We gotta work with each other, right? All right. With that said, thank you everyone who plays the game, who supports the game, who works on the game. Thank you Roark, thank you all the dev team, thank you all of the players, thanks to everyone who has anything to do with this game. And with that said, I will see you all next time. Later, y'all. Peace.